everybody, and welcome into round number 8 of the 2024 Race Factory Gaming Grand Prix Championship live here on Start Your Systems TV. I am Kellen Brower, bringing you guys the action from the RFGP of Germany at Teutschenthal, and we are about to watch a championship likely be wrapped up here tonight in Germany. We have made it 8 of 10 rounds into this season, and yeah, Seth Carr has dominated this MX2 class into oblivion. So we might see it after this first moto coming up here shortly, but we also have a fantastic MXGP championship race still unfolding. So we're so glad you could join us here tonight for the 8th round of this series. Hopefully you guys will sit back and enjoy the show. As per usual, we're going to kick off the evening festivities by talking about what happened in qualifying. So let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at that. Killian Ortiz has topped the MXGP qualifying list here this evening with a 141.289 over Austin Parlow, Frank Jackson, Seth Shirley, and Luke Sullivan. The top 4 there in the 141s. Very close times at the top, and then quite a few 142s in there. Your championship fight really kind of boils down to that Tyler Lang, Colby Eaglin battle that you see 7th and 8th. They have not really been crushing it in qualifying of late, but they have been doing very well in the motos, and they are in a very, very interesting championship fight all the way to the end of this thing. Let's talk about MX2, and Seth Carr did not go fastest here tonight, despite being in a position to clinch this championship here this evening. It's actually his teammate Braden Tharp, who I see in our chat room already hanging out, who goes 141.8. He is the only 250 to go all the way down to the 141s, and he's one of 5 riders to do it on this racetrack. So obviously cooking around this facility, doing a great job putting it P1 for Panini Motorsports once again. Hayden Stevenson behind Seth Carr ahead of Evan Holt and Manuel Cepeda, all in the mix as well. So we got ourselves a good little mix of guys here. I'm not sure how many guys ran laps. Wow, we had 44 people run laps in MX2. And in MXGP, we had 42, so we might have some consies. We'll have to see. Let's talk about our standings, though, rolling into tonight, and this is the big story right here. Seth Carr up 145 points on teammate Austin Parlow. He has already mathematically eliminated everybody else from the championship. So if he can just score 5 points in this first moto, MX2 Race 1 coming up, he will be crowned MX2 World Champion for 2024. Parlow needs to basically win tonight and have Carr score no points to push this thing to next week. So really it's Carr's to decide this evening. If he has a decent evening, even slightly, he will wrap up this championship basically 3 rounds early, most likely 5 motos early, and it's certainly deservedly so. He has been cooking, and it sounds like Tyrone in chat already says Parlow's racing a 450 tonight. So it could be wrapped up by the time we drop the gates. Anyway, regardless of which, this MXGP championship is not over, and it has been staying spicy. It got a little bit separated the last couple weeks with Tyler Lang winning of late, but Colby Eaglin's been hanging in there. Seth Shirley just picked up a win last time out in France. So these guys are mixing it up. They're not giving it to Tyler Lang very easily down the stretch, and this is obviously most likely going to go to the final round. It certainly won't be wrapped up this evening and perhaps next week as well. So we'll keep tabs on this thing and see if Lang versus Eaglin tightens up here tonight in Germany, or if Lang is going to continue establishing his dominance in the championship. It is all being held here at the Tal Kessel circuit at Teutschenthal in Germany. Very interesting racetrack every single season that we go back to it, and always creates some fun racing to watch. The start is perhaps the most peculiar because it's very inside dominant and pushes a lot of guys out wide, and it kind of falls off over a hill right here. So we're going to see who's going to break through and get our Design Lab Co. whole shot here tonight, as well as who's going to come out and maybe win these dang motos. It's going to be fun to kick back and watch it. Hopefully you guys are ready to go racing here this evening and watch a good one. Let's see, we got Brendan Kennedy, Jack Gatlin is also here this evening. MXS Dippers, Lachlan Smith, along with Thick Boy BT, Tyrone MX, and the Gref G Besame. I don't think I'm saying that right, but welcome everybody. Hopefully you guys are having a good evening. The race server is the na.mxs battlegrounds, or na.mxbattlegrounds.com, I think, server. All that information is displayed on RaceFactoryGaming.com, or you can check out forum.mxsimulator.com and see all that information as well. But how's everybody doing this evening? Lovely to have you joining us here on this Monday night, wherever you are in the world, or perhaps it's already Tuesday morning for you. We're ready to go MX Simulator Professional Racing. in Germany. And as soon as the gate drops here in MX2 Race 1, essentially the championship is over. Seth Carr will have wrapped it up as Speed in 121, Dr. Do Racing's finest, shows us around this facility and some of the fast ways to get around it. Very tricky sections through this little valley area here because you go up onto some plateaus and you got to not catch too much air so you still plant in the ruts. And a little chicane switchback joins with the starting area right here. You used to just kind of jump back onto the start right here, but now they made it so it really had this long swoop to it. And then the classic scrub jump here at Teutschenthal. Many guys have had some epic scrubs over the years, and Eli Tomac has had one terrific fall there that most likely most American fans will remember if you don't remember all the scrubs everybody else has put in over the years. Oh yeah, Jack Gadlin, it is a crisp Tuesday morning in the UK for you. But so glad we've been able to watch you and a lot of the other fellow Euro Rippers get after it. And honestly, it's kind of funny how, to me at least, it seems like more Euros race the GPs, like the NA GPs, than Euros race the NA Nationals. Not sure why that is, if it's just you're more familiar with these racetracks, so you like it. I don't know. I'm not too sure. It seems as though we have a consolation race going to the line right now. Either that or a lot of people didn't show up, but I'm thinking this is a consi based on the fact that there are only 15 riders going to the gate. Speed in 121, Maverick Snyder, Yerd, Hagen, Tristan Judd, Lumi, Caden Estes, Jeremy Siebold, Kobe Boubier, John Matthews, Travis Lawrence, Freddie Grove, Cole Harkins, M. Thornsbury, and Ryder D. All fun going to the gate here this evening. Tyrone MX is going for points today. Got back from holiday and went racing on the weekend, so I haven't played in nearly 2 weeks. So going for points, though, always a good goal to have. Best of luck for you to get that done there. So here's our Consi guys going out. Almost nobody's skins I have at MX2 Consi lineup check. So we'll get that graphic up for you guys in case you're just joining us. You're not sure what the heck is happening right now. It is MX2 consolation race. And essentially this is guys going 4 laps and the top 4 riders qualify into the motos. We had a pretty healthy turnout of riders this week for the RFGP of Germany. I'm not sure if that's due to people liking the track more. I feel like it's a pretty good track built by the RFG track crew this week. Or if, generally speaking, people are just excited about the prospect of Seth Carr clinching the championship here tonight, so they wanted to be in on the action. Not too sure, but we'll find out soon as Yerd plows into the back of Maverick Snyder. We're getting a look at some of these guys out here getting ready to go racing. And I know he likes to keep a low profile, but we know exactly who this guy is. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to call him out once the gate drops. If his number hasn't already given him away. Because I don't like when people don't use their real names. I really don't. All right, here we go. MX2 consolation race coming up right now at the RFGP of Germany. We are ready and set to drop the gate on racing here this evening. And it all kicks off with these boys and see who gets out of the gate first here. Like I said, that inside line is where you want to be on this gate. Very, very, very apparent. If you can get off the gate from the inside, it's going to work out well for you, and it has worked out very well for Maverick Snyder on the 58 as he tucks down the inside and comes off with the whole shot. So Maverick Snyder, Tristan Judd, Lumi, and Lumi's going down in front of our boy Yerd here. Lumi down, Yerd makes it through. A couple guys not using their real names. I don't actually know who Lumi is. Does anybody want to call out Lumi for me? Let these guys sort themselves out. 30 laps. Is it set to 30? It is. All right. So someone's got to let them know. I don't know who's running the server here tonight, but it's still set to 30 laps. So we're about to have the world's longest consolation race, as lap 1 is in the books and 29 laps still remain, at least according to the server. Maybe they're just gonna pull it off after the 4 laps are done. Not too sure what the plan is here. I don't know who is hosting tonight. Normally it is Hubbard here. There we go. Now we got the restart. I figured that was coming. You had to believe it was there. And we got the restart rolling. Red flagging. All right. We're ready and set to go for MX2 Constellation Race version 2.0. Can the same riders that hole shot the first one do it again? 30 cars sideways, revs are up, and the gate is down. Another good start for the 20, and he's going to get there this time. It is, I'm going to call him out, sorry, Max Voland getting pushed wide. Not going to get the hole shot. It's Freddie Grove that gets through. Maverick Snyder up and over the tunnel jump here. And Voland almost looping out in the background as Freddie Grove, Maverick Snyder, they're all coming through. Tristan Judd, Jeremy Seabolt, much better start this time. Cleaner start. A lot more guys up here as Seabolt, banging bars and then giving Tristan Judd the business for making contact with him. And this guy's come flipping into the corner right there as we go back down past the mechanics area and into the finish line jump on lap 1. Maverick Snyder has taken over the race lead over Freddie Grove. Dualies with Jeremy Seabolt, Tristan Judd, and Voland over the line in P5. Seabolt trying to get this spot away from Freddie Grove. He's going to do it up into second place for the Panini Motorsports backed number 10. I really need to double check that I did not forget some Panini skins here because I'm going to be real bummed. I thought Seabolt said he was going to send them to me, so actually I might be calling Seabolt out here because he said he was going to send me skins, and I don't think he did. Hold on, I'm double checking that I didn't just completely blow this. No, he didn't. Okay, but maybe this isn't what it is. Oh, he isn't running them. We don't have the update yet. Got it. Okay, thanks, Braden. So what is he running? Because I just don't want to miss your guys' skins, especially if Seth is going to clinch the championship here tonight. Okay, interesting. Seabolt, loose cannon. Running some non-Panini stuff at the moment. It is still Snyder leading from Seabolt. Caden Estes has moved up into 3rd, and Cole Harkins is now in 4th. Loomy right behind him. Loaded up 2 minutes before UID. So what you're saying is he has a setup from like 2016 loaded up right now, probably. But Harkins and Loomy set to go at it. I really want to know who Loomy is, because if Kohenauer or T-Lang were actually in the server, I feel like they'd tell him to change his name. They'd also tell Volan to change his name. Can't be running no fake names out here. You guys know this. It's the law. It's in the RF rulebook. Ah, Evan Runesville. There you go. Well, Loomy and Yurd, a.k.a. Evan Runesville and Max Volan, set to duke it out for this final transfer spot. And apologies, I need to see my timing screen again, so I'm just going to fix that. There we go. Or, excuse me, they are 5th and 6th. They are not in the final transfer spot. It is Cole Harkins still. That's right, they are chasing down Harkins. Maybe they can work together. Roundsville without the D. So, Roundsville. Why is there an A in there? Roundsville, but there's just a random A in there? Ah, okay. As Harkins goes down, and Roundsville has made it up into the final transfer spot. And Volan goes by into 5th as he's getting in there tight with Harkins. That is certainly what she said. Now he's got to go catch his old pal Runesville up here, Roundsville. Caden Estes is a bit of a sitting duck because Roundsville's cooking, trying to close that gap down. And then it is Voland and Harkins, who's back here as well. Freddie Grove still hanging tough. Ooh, Voland with a cheeky little scrub right there. We got a new leader, Jeremy Seabolt. Your 2020 Moto Option Supercross champ is out front. And update from chat. Braden Tharp says that Seabolt will use the skins if he makes it to the moto. So breaking news, he will load the correct setup if he's in. Maverick Snyder moves back to second. Then it is still Estes and Roundsville. White flag coming out this time by. So can these two push their way up there? It's all right. SMX can get me all he wants. We're going to be just fine. Olin gets away scot-free. And these guys have got to close the gap down quickly. Otherwise, Estes and Roundsville are going to be totally fine up here and make it on through as Estes gets a little bit out of shape on landing right there. Got to be careful. It's all right. If Volan doesn't make it, I'll just text him to come over and he can live stream the rest of the race with me. Yeah, I know. I know you're still listening. Well, as these two continue their fight, oh, and Volan is down. He's laid it down at the top of the hill. And that is just a no fun situation right there for Voland. So now these two have gotten away. They're A-OK at the front of the field. It is Seabolt, Snyder, Estes, and Roundsville. They're going to need some serious luck back here if you're Cole Harkins or Hagen in the 6th position to move up and catch these guys. Otherwise, this race is over. Back to our leader, though. 2 turns left to go for this man, Jeremy Seabolt. Opened the game 2 minutes before UID grab, and he's going to stamp his ticket into the motos. With a consolation race victory, Jeremy Seabolt's bringing us down. Checkered flag in the air. Seabolt takes the consolation race with a sick Oppo whip to death. Maverick Snyder picks up P2. Caden Estes, very impressive ride to hold tight with the pressure from behind from Roundsville. And he is going to go on through into the motos with P3 in the consi, and Roundsville ends up in as well in 4th. Harkins, Freddie Grove, Ryder D, Voland going around the outside of Hagen, Speeden, Thornsbury, Travis Lawrence, Kobe Boubier, Tristan Judd, John Matthews, all heading home early this evening. And that'll do it. That'll do, Lassie. We are done with the consi. And I think rolling straight into the motos next. I don't think there's a 450 consi. I could be wrong. So waiting for some of these guys to finish up. Looks like Travis Lawrence is going to be the last guy to bring it home for us. And once again, we have another Cade Matherly lookalike. And so I know Seabolt's supposed to send me some skins, and we were talking about this. Look, public service announcement, if you will. The reason that people put their skins on the forums is so that streamers, media people, etc. can use them for videos and all that stuff of the series. It's not there so that people can use other people's skins. And I've seen a lot of Cade Matherly lookalikes this year because they'll just pick up Cade's skins and use his gear, use his bike, etc., etc., etc. I hate that. Like, don't... It's always a few people that ruin it for the rest. And so now what we're going to have to do instead is have people just DM me skins all the time, and I'm going to have my freaking Discord just get plowed full of skins all the time because people are making it more difficult than it needs to be. We've always done the forum with the skins thread so that Evan Holt or Retrospect guys can all get the skins that they need to, and it doesn't have to go to 14 different DMs. But instead, we have people using skins for teams that they're not associated with, and then it throws us for a loop because we're streaming, and it looks like Cade Matherly's punting someone as a lapper. It's not actually him, it's just someone using his skins. So PSA, please stop doing it. It's really annoying. We have a very defined system that we've used for 15 years in this game, and it's people like that that ruin it. I digress. All right. Looks like we're about to load back in so they can set up the motos, because I think Caleb Hall is the only person on the gate right now. Yep, there he sits. And again, I don't have Caleb Hall skins now for some reason. What's going on? I'm missing a lot of skins of late. So in the meantime, while they figure this out, I'll try to show you guys around the track from my perspective. Albeit a very slow perspective. We'll try to do our best. I've always personally liked this track. I don't know what other people feel about it. I know that some of the GP riders don't really like Germany. Not the country, but like the track. And for me, I think it's always been a very solid, like fun track to play. I don't know why it gets kind of like some disrespect, but I quite enjoy it. And maybe some others don't, but I do. Alrighty. We are just about ready to go racing here in MX2 Race 1. Let's give you guys a rundown of who's going to the gate. Ty, Mate Tom Jones, Braden Tharp, Tyler Perez, Adam Holm, Tyler Blowers, Alec Horn, Maverick Snyder, Hayden Stevenson, Dylan Delaire, Steven Short, Wes, Ben Nerona, Matteo Brusinelli, Max Wilczek, Nick B, Tyler Nichols, Loomy, Caden Speck, NJ, Evan Vanderkoy, Caden Estes, Tyler Valentine, Lucas Arriagada, Jeff Cooper, Jeremy Siebold, Connor Smiley, Wyatt Grant, Race Cobble, Seth Devers, Walker, Jack Gatlin, Colin Holden, Jax Lindsay, Evan Holt, Nick Niles, Jared Gummison, Emmanuel Cepeda, Justin Thomas, Ryan Swanson, and Seth Carr, who is on the verge of wrapping up this MX2 World Championship here in just a few moments. As soon as the gate drops in this race, it is essentially over because the only man that can still catch him on points is Austin Partolo, and he is racing the 450 class here this evening. So clearly everyone else has moved on from thinking that this World Championship can be theirs. It's Seth Carr's, and it's all but a formality at this point. So we'll get through this moto and celebrate the championship that he has wrapped up this year. And many, many congratulations to him for all of the hard work he put in, because it was incredible how much of a gap and how quickly he established the gap that he made in this MX2 World Championship this season, and is certainly a well-deserved champion. But it's not quite over yet. We still have the formalities of getting through this moto. So who's going to get the Design Lab Co. whole shot? Always a tricky bet once we drop the gates on this one. I'd like to say it is going to be another Panini bike, but I don't know. Carr has not been necessarily getting out of the gate incredibly well the last couple of weeks. Jeremy Siebold's coming from way outside, so I don't know so much about that either. How about, Tharp? Tharp always gets off the gate quite well. I like throwing a name like Evan Holden there. He's gotten a couple hole shots of late. Colin Holden seems to be doing well. Wyatt Grant, I think he even picked up a hole shot last week, didn't he? So some of these guys have been up here, been making it easy for me to pick some of the favorable names, but we also have some wild cards that I'll get thrown up in there every once in a while. It's nice to see some fresh faces mixing it up. Who's it going to be? I don't know, and I don't think you guys know either, which is why we're about to find out. 30 minutes plus 2 laps lined up on the gate here at the RFGP of Germany. And we're going to fire them into that tight turn number 1 and see who comes out the other side. Ben Nerona, another name that gets some pretty good starts. There is the man of the evening, though, Seth Carr. Can he get the job done and be crowned MX2 World Champion? Job is simple. Get off the gate. It's all that matters right now. He's done the dirty work. He's won so many races, so many motos this year, and afforded himself the opportunity to clinch this thing 5 motos early. Really 6, because as soon as this gate drops, it's over. So here we go, folks. Who's going to get the Design Lab Co. hole shot? Who is going to win MX2 Race 1? It's the RFGP of Germany. It's coming at you live here on Start Your Systems TV. And we thank you for wherever you are tuning in from around the world. Sit back and enjoy the show. Let's go way down the inside and see who we got to get off the gate well from the inside. I feel like Tharp is going to do us some wonders. But let's see if he does or not. Who's taking a minute to load in? It's the 15 of Evan Holt. Let's make sure he doesn't time out. Still loading, still waiting. Oh boy, Holtzy, don't time out. It's not going to be very good news. I feel like this is heading towards a timeout, and I don't know if they're going to let him back in, so we'll call it live as is. Oh, it looks like he made it. It looks like Evan Holt made it in, so good news for him. Maybe bad news for the rest of the field. Let's see what happens here as the 30 card is sideways. Revs are up. RFGP of Germany is live and racing. And Holtzy's right up there with Seth Carr. It is going to be the 38 of Seth Carr who rips the Design Lab Co. Whole shot. Holtzy right there with him. You also got Tharp on the 5 coming over the top of the Underground RC single jump, but it is the now newly crowned MX2 world champion because it's over. No one else can beat him, and he's trying to make sure no one can even beat him in this moto. Carr leads and starts sprinting away from the field. Tharp, Holtzy, Hayden Stevenson, Colin Holden, Wilczek, Vanderkoy, Speck, Nerona, Jack Gatlin up inside the top 10. This is actually a pretty gnarly list of riders that are giving chase, so let's see if they can go with Carr as he's going to come down and lead lap number 1. One of the things that Carr has been very good at this year, and we've said it over and over again in RFGPs, he has been so good at putting in those early laps, almost like what Jeremy McGrath used to do when he would win all of his Supercross races, get a big gap established and make it so that even a fall-off crash or a big mistake doesn't result in him losing the race lead. And then he just kept building from there, putting a second on the field lap after lap, opening up those massive race victories that we've seen so many times this season. But he has a little bit of friendship going on here as his teammate Braden Tharp on the number 5 machine is going with him, and Tharp looks pretty fired up here tonight. We haven't seen Tharp really be too much of himself the last few, maybe month or so of racing. But you get down to the end of a championship run and, hey man, if a race win is on the offer, or maybe even an overall win, you want to go for it. As he nails that step up right there. I was curious if anyone would be able to do it. He does, and he closes right up on his teammate for the race lead. So a little Panini 1-2 as they go through the switchbacks. As Carr scrubs over this jump, and Tharp is just right in behind him. Now, going to see this track develop and change throughout the moto. Where are these guys most comfortable at? And does Tharp just kind of follow him for a little bit, or does he have some options picked out for himself? I have to imagine if we get back to that step up next time by and he's able to uncork that, that might be his place as Carr goes down with the race lead. As I say that, it's changed over. Holtzy goes by. There goes Hayden Stevenson. Max Wilczek also goes by. Holden and Nerona trying to shut the door on the 42. He will. But he gets up right in front of the 41 of Jack Gatlin. So your championship leader buried in the midfield now as Nerona, they throw dualies over that finish line jump, and Nerona having a little bit of fun with him. Ooh, that was pretty tight right there. He's still having a good time. Little bike humps with the newly crowned champ. So we'll see how he fares, but back to our leader, and perhaps some of that early pressure put on by Braden Tharp caused a mistake out of Seth Carr. You never know what's going on inside these guys' heads as they're trying to navigate these early laps, and the pressure of not having a big mistake always can arise, but when you have someone pushing behind you as much as Tharp was, it adds a little bit more to that pressure as well. So Holtzy settles in to second place early on. We got a good fight going on for third. Hayden Stevenson has dropped back down to the MX2 division and sent me some skins here tonight. Very random set of skins. I don't know what is on the shroud of this bike, but it's kind of like all over the place. It is Nexus, so he is still Nexus. They were Triumph, but he's now on this 2025 Honda, but it's a 250, so technically he's breaking the law here. Either way, he is feeling the heat from RFGP of Portugal Moto 1 winner Max Wilczek. And Wilczek has been very up and down this year. Really strong motos at times and really disappointing motos at other points. But when he starts up front, he's always a threat and is becoming more of a regular threat. As he puts the heat on Stevenson still, Holden and Seth Carr not too far behind them, now battling for 5th place. And actually, turning it into a battle for 4th place. They are putting the heat on Wilczek, and Holden might even have an opportunity to get up alongside of him here over the finish line jump. Wilczek holds this inside line, and Holden barrel rolls to the deck. He's going to lose several positions. Norona and Gatlin go by. There goes, let's see, Dallaire also heading through, and Niles, I think, went by. No, Caden Speck, excuse me. Dallaire was right here, and then Caden Speck also went by right there on the number 26 EVP Gas. So those guys went by. Then Holtze immediately lost a spot to Seth Carr. Looks like he maybe went down. Gives a big lead to Tharp, who just set the new fastest lap of the race. His car goes to work now on Wilczek in what is a fight for the final podium spot. Wilczek shutting the door hard on Seth Carr. You can see him grabbing the brakes, trying to make sure he didn't hit his rear tire. Look at this inside move, and he's going to make it stick. So Seth Carr up into 3rd place as he puts his eyes forward and tries to go after the race leader. Stevenson now in a pretty quiet 2nd place, got about a 2.5 second gap. Back to Seth Carr here, and then Wilczek right behind that. Evan Holt now bringing up P5 and not too far behind those guys as well. It's actually pretty close. Still 3-4-5 on the racetrack. So Tharp laid in a 142.375. Holtze went 142.929. I'm curious what Carr's going to lay down this time by. I'd have to imagine this will reset fastest lap of the race unless Tharp did something else ridiculous out front. Tharp is about to check in. He goes 144.554, so it's actually a couple seconds slower than his best lap. Carr checking in over the line this time by, and he is going to go 144.062. So that 142.3 was actually very impressive out of Tharp in the race lead, and perhaps Carr being held up a little bit in dealing with trying to pass Wilczek. Couldn't lay down his personal best just yet, but his eyes are focused ahead on Hayden Stevenson to try to go and get P2 on the racetrack. So Stevenson holds the position for the time being. All those guys nailing that uphill triple, no problem, and jumping to the outside. No one seems to really be interested in trying to hit that inside line at the top of the hill. It does not seem to be one of the faster options this year. Maybe as the track wears down, that triple landing becomes a bit more bumpy. The guys will start checking up and going double, single to the inside. Carr certainly putting the heat on Stevenson. And the gap between our race leader to this battle is 8 seconds. So now what has Carr got to try to get into P2 over the Nexus Honda of Hayden Stevenson? Stevenson a little late on the brakes right there, going long over the scrub single. And look at Seth Carr around the outside. That's what cost him the race lead in the first place, though, pushing the envelope on the ruts. And almost went down again, and this time he will go down for a second time. Another crash for Seth Carr. And he's going to have to pick it up behind a large group of riders here. Goes from battling for second all the way back to 8th. So this time it cost him even more positions than when he crashed out of the lead. Side by side once again with Colin Holden coming to the line for P7. And Holden's like, man, come on. Can you just let me go? I don't want to keep having to deal with you. We'll get back to that battle in a minute. Norona and Wilczek find themselves in a battle now for 4th place. As it looks like the leader maybe went down. Stevenson is closer, I should say, on Tharp. Now down to about 5 seconds. We'll get up to that battle in a second as we watch this one here. Evan Holt has moved back into 3rd around Wilczek. So Holtze now riding for the Allied program. And his teammate Wilczek trying to work their way forward. It's Panini Nexus Allied inside of the top 5 right now. Norona back here. Well, Allied pretty sure. He's not 100% certain on his team, but the bike does say Allied. And down goes Stevenson out of 2nd. So he made his way closer to Tharp and then crashes it away again. Back to our Allied cubed battle here. go on board with Ben Nerona and watch him go to work. My wife just brought me some food, so I'm going to take a couple bites here. You guys can sit back and watch the show for a minute. And what a show that was. A little crossing up with Max Wilczek, and they came together. He's already back on the prowl trying to go get him. Meanwhile, Stevenson's right behind him. So we can sit on board with Stevenson here. As this fight is closing up now, these guys are now battling for second because who just went down again? It looks as though Evan Holt crashed back to 7th now. So Holtzy out of P2. And you're watching 2, 3, 4 on the screen right in front of us here. So let's see what happens with Stevenson as we stay on board with him and watch this fight unfold. Boy, and just like the onboard that we had with Nerona's perspective, Stevenson's watching one hell of a fight going on around him. He almost got Gatlin, or excuse me, Nerona, I should say. And instead, Seth Carr sneaks up the inside and gets by him into 4th. Now Stevenson fighting back on the points leader and newly crowned world champion. How's this one going to go? A big crash. Nerona and Seth Carr down together. Evan Holt lands on top of both of them. Somehow doesn't fall off the bike. Looks like Caden Speck is going to go by. Here comes Dallaire. Dallaire is going to jump over Seth Carr. Man, Carr had nowhere to go as Nerona was down on the backside of that single. Evan Holt almost got into the back of them, and then Speck made it by. So resetting things, Tharp's now got a pretty comfortable lead over Wilczek, but actually that just changed again. Stevenson's going by Wilczek. He's up into 2nd, and this fight continues. As Colin Holden sits in the rearview mirror, then Caden Speck has now moved up into 5th place. He's got Nerona all over him and Holtzy on the 15 right behind that. And then a little bit further back now is Seth Carr just in front of Dylan Dallaire. So aside from our leader Tharp, everything from 2nd all the way back to the 9 spot right now is 10 seconds apart. These guys are all in different battles, and perhaps the best one is a fight for 2nd. Stevenson versus Wilczek. Going at it, and they're getting pushed right now. Colin Holden is kind of hanging out in the rearview mirrors looking for his opportunity. So let's see what Wilczek has got as he tries to size up Steven as they bounce through the bumps together. Man, look at the speed to the outside there. Wilczek launching into the valley a little bit farther, but there's nothing to get power off of on these 250s. You go a little bit long on that wall jump, you are landing too flat, and then the bike just deadens, comes to a complete stop. So Stevenson versus Wilczek as Wilczek almost goes over the bars right there. Chris in the YouTube chat wants to know, is MX Sim on Steam anymore? It never has been on Steam. MX Bikes is on Steam. That's another one of the simulation games. MX Sim is available at mxsimulator.com. Make sure that you get it from mxsimulator.com. There's some lookalike websites that are not true. But mxsimulator.com is where you'll get it. And support Josh Vanderhoof, who has put in so much work and dedication over the years to making this game what it has been and continues to be. And we obviously appreciate all the work that he puts in. So Be sure to get it over there. Oh, is a big crash. Wilczek down right in the toe there of Stevenson, and he's going to pick it up still in third somehow, but barely, as here comes Seth Carr jumping into the picture from fourth. Man, this group spread apart very quickly. They were so close together, and then one crash by Wilczek in third, and he stays in third. I can't believe that. I thought that almost everybody would go by. But instead, it has just pushed him into a fight. Instead of chasing for second, he's now defending third. And Seth Carr is putting the heat on him as we approach the halfway mark of this race. We were just about at 15 minutes complete, with 15 minutes plus 2 laps still to go. And look at Seth Carr ripping this outside line. Flying down this straightaway to the inside, trying to get a move. Look at, might actually get it done. Wilczek pulls alongside as they go over the finish line jump. Whoa, that's some lag contact right there, and Carr is so fortunate not to go down. There goes Colin Holden, there goes Ben Nerona, and there goes Caden Speck. No, it looks like Wilczek is going to hold him off. Wilczek, of course, not from the USA. I forget what nationality he is. I think Caden Speck went down. He did. But all these guys are playing at different parts of the world. And Seth Carr is from somewhere in the U.S. I can't remember exactly where. But you go up against someone in Europe, and of course there's going to be a little bit of lag involved. The way that JLV makes it so in the server, if we're not in the race, which I'm in warm-up mode, so I'm kind of in spectator mode, we don't see that lag. It plays through the playback much smoother. But in the actual race conditions, these guys are certainly seeing much more of that lag and dealing with it with their fellow competitors. It's not as bad as MX Bikes, that's for sure, but it's still pretty tough sometimes. And you saw how bad it could go right there, as Carr and Wilczek certainly were not touching based on how it looked on screen, but still got together regardless. Tharp continues to lead this thing. 14 seconds is gap back to Hayden Stevenson. And man, he's just putting in the work, and he's still putting down some really good lap times right now. 143.8 last time by. 142.3 is his best still, of course, and it is the race record at the moment. So let's sit with him for a minute, take a couple more bites of my food, and we're going to watch him navigate through some lap traffic. And he's down from the lead. Wow, hang on here for a second. This race has gotten a lot tighter, a lot quicker. Stevenson goes from 15 back to now just 5 back. And Seth Carr is going to go to only 12 back by the looks of it. 13.6. Yeah, just about 12 once it levels out. Tharp cannot afford another mistake like that because it'll cost him the lead. So now the real question mark here is, can he settle back down and not allow it to get even further out of hand? He's already had a couple of mistakes. I think that was his first fall-off crash of the race, though. The good news for him is that he keeps making these mistakes and then pulling the gap back out. So maybe he don't change what he's doing, because if he does, he could just pick it back up and go faster than everybody else. Let's see if that strat works. We're going to sit back and listen to the sounds of the race once more. All right, so we got to watch a whole lap there of Tharp. I apologize, I'm not really calling the action, but my daughter started her second year of preschool today, so went as a family to pick her up. Normally I would have eaten right before these streams. Instead, got back and went right to streaming. It happens sometimes. It's like we got ourselves a bit of a battle. Colin Holden and Ben Nerona. They're disputing 4th place on the racetrack at the moment. A little bit of a gap up ahead from Wilczek. Wilczek all by himself in 6th, as is Dylan Dallaire in 7th and Evan Holt in 8th. And a fight between Race Cobble and Wyatt Grant is currently happening for 9th, but I wanted to stick with this fight just to see if Holden could maybe get away from Nerona. Last time by, Nerona was a little bit faster than Holden. This time by, they evened out. Pretty much the same, 146.1, 146.6. About 5/10 in it. Or half a second, depending on how you wish to say that phrase. But honestly, things have kind of evened out. I feel like the fastest guys have made it back up to the front. Stevenson's doing his best to keep Seth Carr behind him. That's actually starting to become a little bit more of a race. It's down to 2.5 seconds. And Carr is running some of the fastest laps on the track right now with 9 minutes left to go in the race. Two and a half seconds still the gap, though. He's got to get to Stevenson. And I think both these two are holding out hope that there's one more mistake left for Tharp to have out front. Might not happen, but if it does, they are both there waiting to pounce. And I got to say, kudos to the guys that did the tread marks this week, because I feel like this looks a lot more natural than usual. Some of the tread marks have been really weird looking, but this one kind of lightens up sort of the areas and makes it look a little bit slicker, which I feel like is kind of true to what Teutschenthal does. Here we go. Look at Carr. He's ripping to this outside, and Stevenson just able to come from the inside and hold position as we go over the finish line jump onto lap number 14. It's kind of crazy how these races end up almost being Supercross main events, 20-lap races every week. Here we go. Carr's right there. Let's see what happens. Stevenson almost loops out. Carr's up alongside of him. We got more bike humps. Stevenson trying to control the inside. Carr is going to square back off and get there first, and he's got it. P2 on the racetrack for Seth Carr. Now, can he run his teammate down? That is the golden question that still remains from this moto. Of course, he's had a couple falls already trying to push the envelope and get up there in the first place, but he just ran his personal best at a 1:43.390 last time by, and that lap was 3 seconds faster than his race-leading teammate Tharp was able to put in last time through. So if that pace continues, it's only going to be a couple more laps before we got ourselves a battle. We'll see if that gap continues to come on down as Stevenson settles into 3rd now, Holden 4th, Wilczek 5th, Nerona 6th. Dallaire 7th, Holtze 8th, Race Cobble now in 9th, and Wyatt Grant in 10th have stabilized as we somewhat expected. Caden Speck has drifted outside of the top 10. Emmanuel Cepeda is down in 12th, and he's going to let some guys go by here. Adam Holm now goes by into 12th, 13th for Maverick Snyder, 14th now for Jeff Cooper, as Cepeda drifts all the way back to 15th place. Alec Horn 16th. Lucas Arriagada there in 17th. 18th for Evan Vanderkoy. 19th is Ty Maytom Jones. And Jeremy Siebold rounds out our top 20. And he did indeed change his skin. So golf clap indeed to Jeremy Siebold. And he also is running the number 210 because he's not number 10 in GPs. Only in NA RF stuff for the Nationals and Supercross. All right. 143.5 to 145.3 last time by, so that's about a 1.5 seconds gain. Gap is coming down very slowly now. Tharp has stabilized it, but as I say that, he pushes the nose and goes down. There's going to be a very fast fall-off crash because he reset almost right away, but here comes Carr. Oh, I think they hit as Tharp got going, but Carr's going to take over the lead. So now it's Seth Carr out front in Germany. Can Tharp respond? He's been in the lead almost since the beginning, and it looks like he wants to go right back after him. Five minutes and 2 laps left to go, and Seth Carr wants to clinch this championship with authority. He's going to clinch it regardless, but if he can win this moto, what a way to win the world title. And Tharp, his teammate, is going to be the one that tries to stand in the way and keep that from happening. Meanwhile, we got a change for third. Colin Holden has taken over position from Hayden Stevenson, and Stevenson is under attack right now. Max Wilczek trying to take the spot. Not going to get it, but we got a fight for the lead still going on. Tharp is less than a second back, and he's trying to find some lines to close this gap back down to his teammate. So where is he finding those options? Let's figure it out. Over that wall, jumping down, up into the finish line jump. 1.3 seconds the gap. Making a couple crucial mistakes. But he's also keeping Carr close, and we saw earlier in the race, lap 2 specifically, that pressure that Tharp was putting on his teammate, maybe it made Carr falter, or maybe it was just his own mistake, because he did have a couple mistakes later in the race as well. But he cracked either way. He made that bobble and went down. And Tharp was the one that was able to take advantage and has led every lap since, except this one. It is back in the favor of his teammate, and Carr is opening up a slight advantage here, 2.6 seconds. What I noticed about being on board there with Tharp, though, is just how rough this track has gotten, and these guys are still going to be on it for another 4 or 5 laps, so it's going to be gnarly by the end of this moto. And what that does is two things. First of all, it opens up the area of a possibility of a mistake for Carr while leading this thing. It also makes it more difficult to navigate the lap traffic, because while you may be comfortable in one line, to get by the lappers, you might have to take something completely different. And that line might be really chewed up, as you see Carr bouncing in through towards the finish line jump right here. And he's trying to get by this lapper. Not sure who that is. It's the 107 machine by the looks of it, of Seth Devers. But you see that has to split the gap here, go between him and Jax Lindsay, and they're not letting him have it, really. To be fair, they are making him work for it, and Tharp is just lurking there in the background. And now that he is the second guy to hit this group of lappers, they're maybe opening the door a little bit, saying, all right, there's actually a battle, we got to let the leaders go, we can't let this happen on our watch. But now Carr is through that little threesome right there. Can he get by these guys as well? Oh, Tharp almost runs into the side there of Seth Devers, and they're also splitting things up a little bit here with Ryan Swanson on the 137. Inside, Jax Lindsay was down. Let's see if Swanson just scoots out of the way for Tharp here. Yep, goes way outside, lets the 5 go by on the inside. Nicely done by Swanson, not to impede, but it was under 2 seconds. Now it's back out to 3.6. That just shows the yo-yo effect that lap traffic can have in affecting a battle on the racetrack. Whoa, Seth Carr over the tough blocks right there. Almost had a big one. So let's see. Time will expire next time by. This is 3 to go coming up. So we will indeed have a 20-lap race here. Basically an old school main event, Daytona style, more or less. And Tharp is just trying to keep him close. Keep him as honest as he possibly can. 4.5 seconds now the gap. Seems like it is going to be a futile attempt, but trying as he might, he will keep it as close as possible. Colin Holden now just running a quiet third place. He's got another 5-6 seconds back to this man, Max Wilczek, who did make the move on Hayden Stevenson while we were watching the lead fight going on. Stevenson still holding a strong P5 in this moto, though, so nothing to shy away from, and has a shot at getting Wilczek and even perhaps Holden for third before this is done if things fall back his way. Ben Arona has now settled into a very quiet 6th place. He is 14 seconds behind and 14 seconds ahead. And it's going to be 6th place or bust at this point. I don't think he's getting any higher than that. Evan Holt, 7th. Dylan Dallaire, 8th. Race Cobble, 9th. And ooh, Wyatt Grant just went down in 10th. Is Snyder going to go by? It looks like he maybe already did. Yes, he did. Just went through. So Maverick Snyder is now up into a top 10 position, which is pretty cool out of the consolation race. Love when guys get a chance like that through the consi and make the most of it. Otherwise, things have settled down throughout the field. So 2 laps still to go for this man out front for Seth Carr. And see, there's a decent amount of you guys still hanging out watching this race. This has been an impressive GP campaign for Seth Carr, and he has a shot at clinching the 250 championship in RF Nationals this Wednesday, which you could argue means a little bit more to these guys. The GP title is cool. Get a world championship added to your mantle. But the best of the best are racing in the national championship, and Carr has a chance at winning that thing too. So I don't know. What's more impressive? The fact that he might be able to do the double, how dominant he's been in GPs, that he turned it around from a very close loss in 250 Supercross this year and has stormed the field outdoors ever since. I don't know. There's a lot of things that have gone right for Seth Carr in 2024. And it's been very impressive. All right, I'm not capping when I say this, ladies and gentlefish. I know some of you, or a lot of you guys, are younger than me in the audience. But Brussels sprouts kind of hit, not gonna lie. Especially when my wife cooks them up. They are tasty as can be. I know that's the hard-hitting race announcing you guys are asking for here, so I figured I'd deliver it. Seth Carr and his teammate Jeremy Siebold having a little bit of a show with the battle out front right there as Carr's lapping him. And this time by, he will see the white flag waving down past the mechanics area. And towards the finish line jump, white flag out here at Teutschenthal. And Seth Carr is 1 lap away from officially clinching the 2024 MX2 World Championship. Such an impressively good season. And he was relentless in this GP campaign, I'll tell you. He lost the perfect season at, I believe, round 4, if I'm not mistaken. Got the 3rd in that moto. And then immediately fired off, I think, 6 or 7 consecutive moto wins in a row after that. He was right back to his old self. Still has won almost all the motos, almost all the Grand Prix. And has essentially made this world title his wasteland. He is fired up from not winning that Supercross title, and this is where most of his frustrations have boiled out. Because while he has been very good in the national campaign, it obviously has not been as dominant as this. This is a whole nother level. I don't think anybody's wrapped it up 5 motos early in the GP campaign, but Seth Carr is about to. And be interesting to see if the celebrations begin. He knew that this was going to be his. He knew probably that his teammate Parlo wasn't going to be racing the 250 class tonight, so perhaps he's already had the celebrations, but this is where it becomes official, and I tell you what, the official marking of it means that much more. What a season. What a ride. How about this, folks? Your 2024 MX2 World Champion is Seth Carr, and he takes MX2 Race 1 here in Germany to boot with it. Let the celebrations begin. The 38 goes to number 1 in 2025. He is your world champ, and it is over. Braden Tharp is going to pick up P2. Colin Holden looks like he'll be 3rd. Stevenson 4th. Wilczek 5th. Noronha 6th. Race Cobble 7th. Dylan Delaire 8th. These guys are still fighting to the line. Evan Holt, P9. Maverick Snyder 10th. Alec Horn 11th. Wyatt Grant P12. Cepeda 13th. Adam Holm 14th. Jeff Cooper 15th. Caden Speck 16th. Ariagata 17th. Siebold 18th. Vanderkoy 19th. And Time Tom Jones rounded out the points paying positions. We're waiting to see these guys all finish where they are. Delaire makes a mistake, gets hopped over by Evan Holt. That's going to be a position swap. Yep, never mind. He goes down right after that, and then Delaire goes down himself. So Snyder gets a twofer, goes up into 8th place here right before the checkered flag. Noronha's already crossed in 6th. It was Wilczek rounding out the top 5. Cobble, Snyder, Alec Horn, Holtzy, Delaire, Wyatt Grant, Cepeda, Adam Holm, Jeff Cooper, Caden Speck, Ariagata. Like we said, all these guys already finished up. But this man up front is the world champion, Seth Carr. Many, many congratulations. He got it done. And it's time to celebrate, my friends. Your world champion in 2024, Seth Carr. And congratulations to Seth Carr, your 2024 RFGP MX2 World Champion. We'll be sure to celebrate this more as the evening goes on, but congratulations to him. Certainly well deserved. And now we get to roll ourselves into MXGP Race 1 and talk about this championship dynamic that is set to unfold there. 29 points between Tyler Lang and Colby Eaglin. Still 6 motos of racing left to go. It is a very early wrap-up of the championship for Seth Carr. All right, we are just about ready to go. Let me tell you who's going to the line for this MXGP race number 1 here in Germany. Austin Schaefer, Carl Robitaille, Braden Castellaneta, Seth Shirley, Dre Smith, Schiabro, Kyle Boardman, Frank Raffiani, Frank Jackson, Austin Parlow, Teddy Lehman, Gavin Pine, Anthony Pachone, Jason Stubbs, Beneni, I don't know who that is, Jay-Z, JT George, Jeremy Gwiazdowski, Jason Stubbs, Anna Brion, Chase Odom, Luke Scheffler, Killian Ortiz, Carl Novak, Bryce Foley, Dylan Van Vranken, Donovan Palladino, Zach Fisher, Hunter Ash, Devin Davis, Blake O'Brien, Aaron Rockefeller, Tommy Dallaire, Luke Sullivan, Bryce Lizaraga, Caleb Hall, and Tyler Lang. Did I see Colby Eaglett in there, or did I not? Trying to see where the 424 machine would be. Took me a dang long time to load into the server right there. I apologize to everyone in the server waiting for me. Is Eaglin really not here? Oh, man, that just spoils the championship. Oh, no, there he is. Okay. I swear I missed him. There is the number 424 District Designs Honda of Colby Eagland. All right, it is time to go racing. 450 Moto 1, also known as MXGP Race 1, is set to go here in Germany. It's taking me a minute to load these bikes. I hope I don't load in too late. Here we go. Ernie card is sideways. We are revved up and ready to go. MXGP Race 1 in Germany is off and running. Who's going to get off the gate first? Pretty good start up the inside, one of the Nexus riders. It's actually Seth Shirley who sticks the nose out. Oh, and I think that was, I don't know who that was on the Panini bike that just went down right there, but one of them down. And Shirley gets the Design Lab Co. whole shot. Big shout out to the DesignLabCo.com for all the support that they've given us this year, backing the whole shot award. Head over to thedesignlabco.com for all of your needs, graphically or otherwise. But thanks so much to them. They give you Seth Shirley here in MXGP Race 1. It's Shirley, Larson, Lang, O'Brien, Caleb Hall up in the mix. Jay-Z's back here. Where is Colby Eaglin? Haven't seen him poke a nose. Looks like he's in about 12th on the opening lap as Braden Castellaneta sneaks into the picture on the number 8. Xander Brion also went by as Shirley leads on the opening lap. Bilar's right in tow behind him. Shirley lays over a nice scrub heading out the back, and I'm surprised that he hasn't got a little bit of a gap established yet. One of the faster riders on this track, but Larson is keeping him honest right now. And also Lang with a good start right where he wants to be. Ideally would like to be leading, of course, but seeing as that Colby Eaglin's buried in 11th place, could be worse. I think he'll take his current positioning. So Shirley now getting a bit of a gap established as we have got a change for second. Tyler Lang has made the pass on Brandon Larson. Now the eyes are focused forward on his teammate Seth Shirley and see if he can't go with the number 6 machine. Bilar's already fallen back into the clutches a little bit of Blake O'Brien, the Elite Decals number 99, off to a good start in this one. As I say that, Lang makes a slight bobble, and suddenly all three of them are pretty close together once again. Brion, Castellaneta, Sullivan, Hall, Eagland, Jackson, the top 10 at the moment. Found out this weekend from former MX Simulator champion Byron Downen that he randomly ran into Frank Jackson in Florida. So shout out Byron and Frank meeting up. So let's see if B-Lars can't settle it down into a more comfortable pace. Running in this 3 position now instead of feeling the heat from current points leader and defending world champion Tyler Lang. No Iron Man for me, Saru. I apologize. I will not be there. Lang closing the gap down on his teammate, Seth Shirley. Coming down in a hurry. And Lang, as important as this Grand Prix season is for him as he tries to clinch another world title and sets himself up in the next couple weeks to try to do so. This week for him is more about the intense pressure that comes with trying to dethrone current points leader in the national championship, Payson Johnson, with 1 round remaining at Ironman. He's still in it. It's not necessarily close, but he is still alive for the championship. That's something Colby Eagland is not alive for anymore. 2 of them pushed Payson as far as they could, but Johnson's been relentless in that series. And Lang has been fired up of late and one last time out at Budds Creek. So he is doing everything he can going into that final round on Wednesday to maybe, just maybe, still have a shot at winning this title. Meanwhile, Seth Shirley, all he cares about is winning, and he picked up his first career RaceFactory Gaming National Moto win in the second moto last week at Budds Creek. Finally broke through at that event. Look at this. Lang has closed that gap down, though, and we got a battle for the lead here at Teutschenthal. The teammates, JIBR.co Gas 1-2 on the racetrack and sprinting away from the rest. They've put about 5 seconds on Brandon Larson in third, and Shirley had it all to himself out front, but not anymore. Tyler Lang is there, breathing down his neck. And now we get to see 2 of the fastest riders in the game at the moment go to battle. Feel like a lot of local players that are hanging out in servers and they feel fast about themselves. Yeah, these guys are on another level, I promise you. So you're watching the best of the best, minus Payson Johnson, Alexis Leclerc maybe. Those are the only 2 that I could, off the top of my head, say should probably be in this fight with these 2 out front. Obviously Colby Eagland when he gets up here, but the starts have not been there of late for him. He always seems to start outside the top 10. That's early. Meanwhile, he's starting to start around. I feel like that's what's been the catalyst for him of late, getting off the gate a little bit better. But T-Lang is there, so now the question is, do they continue working together? Because they are pushing each other ahead of Blake O'Brien now. O'Brien's moved up to third. Castellaneta and Frank Jackson, 4th and 5th right behind him. So if he continues to hold position, that might be a bit of a buffer that these guys have. Because obviously Frank Jackson can run the speed of the leaders, and Castellaneta's no slouch either. And that's not a knock on Blake O'Brien, but I just don't think he's quite up to pace with these 2. So Lang right now seems kind of content to follow his teammate And I don't know if they hang out in a call together or not. I feel like I've heard that they don't. I could be wrong. Either way, Langer at the moment has 20 seconds on Colby Eaglin, and that's all that's really mattered to him in this championship fight, as he holds a 29-point advantage over the number 424 machine with 6 motos still to go here. Just needs to beat him, really. That's what, at the end of the day, it all comes down to. Obviously, Castellaneta's still a bit of a factor, but it's a long shot for that. What's Lang got up his sleeve here? I'm trying to decipher whether or not he's really going for it or not. I mean, 42.4 is incredible, but 42.1 is the fastest lap of the race out of Seth Shirley. I think maybe they're pushing each other. I think that this is a strategy. I think that they are doing a little bit of working together here, and I almost wonder if they are talking to each other. Lang maybe didn't just say, "I'll just give you the space, you know, give you a second or two here. Let's try to put our laps down together and not mess with each other, because if they start battling each other, they start working their way backwards." We got 9 seconds now over new third place man Braden Castellaneta, and I feel like we're waiting for something to happen up here that might not be happening. We're almost 10 minutes into this moto, and they still run 1-2 on the racetrack. So let's check out some other things going on. Particularly, I want to see Colby Eaglin's progress forward. He's now up into 8th. He's not too far behind the battle for 6th. Frank Jackson all over Teddy Lehman right now. Lehman holding on to a strong P6 start here. Getting off the gate well and battling with these guys. Doolies over the finish line jump. All right, I dig it. Oh, Jackson sends it in and goes down. So that's going to be a freebie spot for Eaglin. Also going through is Luke Sullivan. Looks like he went by Caleb Hall and Killian Ortiz. So Sully's the man on this Honda. I don't understand what's going on, because Sully's on the TSCZ Productions team, not Nexus, but this Honda has Nexus on it, doesn't it? Or does this have TSCZ on it? Yeah, it says Nexus on it. I am confusion. What is, someone clue me in what these guys are doing, as now going to battle with Teddy Lehman is Colby Eaglin, and yard sailing in the background is Sully. Eaglin gets hung up on the inside, has to come to a complete stop, and here comes ripping around the outside almost, and into the back door there was Killian Ortiz, and Ortiz gets almost cleaned out by Caleb Hall, who passes him. Meanwhile, P14 Austin Parlow just ran the fastest lap of the race at a 141.812. So coming through and trying to work his way forward. We've seen him have some strong rides on a 450 of late. Oh, little mistake right there for Caleb Hall. Misses and goes off the track. Okay, yeah, so I knew you were a different nationality, and I think I heard you're in the USA. But Max Wilczek is Polish and lives in the USA, but it certainly had some lag over the finish line jump when you and Seth got together. That was peculiar, to say the least. All right, so now Eaglin's got clean air in front of him, 7 seconds up to B-Lars. He's got to try to get a move on here and start limiting the damage, because Lang just made a mistake. He was about a second off of Shirley. Now it's over 3 seconds. Got stuck kind of, I don't know what just happened right there. You can see, oh, our leader's down. Seth Shirley is off the bike in this canyon. Seems inevitable. These guys are jumping so far down in right there. And now Shirley picks it up right before Castellaneta gets there. But T-Lang has gone by, and he is 5 seconds up the road. So that changes the dynamic. They were trying to work together to get away. Now it doesn't matter at all. T-Lang is all by himself And we'll see if he can't put down some Stanley steamers and clean up some carpets out front. I know that you guys sometimes get a kick out of me and Lewis banter in the chat, because I know some of you guys watch the LVK More Than Moto show. Well, this week I went to Nando's with Lewis after the race at Budds Creek. Maybe we'll talk about it on the show this week, but found out a new stickler of something that Lewis doesn't like. He's very picky with his food. Doesn't like potato skins. They cut his French fries with potato skins on them, and he refused to eat his French fries. I only say that because I'm having a baked potato right now and happily eating the potato skins because I think they're very good and delicious, but not a fan is Lewis. So put that one in the memory bank. We'll bring that up later on some shows, I'm sure. Eaglin has disposed of Brandon Larson. He is now up into the top 5 and running 1:43.8 last time by. That is the fastest lap on the track. Well, actually, Jackson behind him went 43.3. But still very close. Problem is, man, he needs to beat is now leading this moto. So he's going to need some help. He's going to need to keep on the gas, though, and working forward, trying to go run down Blake O'Brien, who is running a very quietly solid P4. And Castellaneta is just trying to get as close as he can to Seth Shirley. Easier said than done, though, because Seth is obviously going to start picking the pace back up after getting up from that crash. I feel like everyone is about to run their personal best right here, because these guys have been in free track, except Lang's now hitting lappers, so maybe it's going to get held up, but let's see. 43.6 out of Lang, not his personal best, but very good. 43.3 out of Seth Shirley, again, not personal best. Castellaneta just cut the track and went 45.2. Eaglin's up to 4th. He has gotten around O'Brien now, so that happened rather quickly. And Eaglin's not running the pace of the leaders either, because he lost a little bit of ground in trying to make that pass happen. So not sure what's going on, but he is going to lay in a 44.2, so not in the 43s. Brandon Larson just got around O'Brien as well, as Frank Jackson is right on his heels. And also in the mix is Killiam Ortiz on the 816, just in the background as well. So these guys are all kind of dealing with each other. Parlo making no headway now in 15th. He's kind of stuck back there. Pilar is going over the wall jump. Still 4 seconds between those guys, so we'll stick with this battle. Pilar is trying to keep a top 5 spot over Frank Jackson, and Killiam Ortiz hanging out right behind him as well. Oh, mistake right there for a lapper. I kind of splits them both up, but no time gained or lost, I feel like, for either rider. I thought Bilars was going to take advantage of that because Jackson got kind of sideways, but then Jackson getting sideways kind of squared him up to miss the lapper directly and not go right into the path of where that rut was leading. So now he's right back on him again. Meanwhile, Seth Shirley just went down. He's back to 3rd, now behind Castellaneta. So that's not good news for the number 6, who is closing the gap down on Lang. And now he's got even more work cut out for him to go back to get into 2nd in the first place. We got riders going down over the wall jump. 369 machine was one of them there. That was B-Nelly. I don't know who that is. Whoa, B-Lars sideways and crosses up in front of B-Nelly, takes him down. Frank Jackson goes by. And Larson loses a position. Ortiz lost a little bit of ground in that exchange as well. And then O'Brien kind of bringing up caboose behind these guys. Excuse me. B-Lars looks like he wants to go back after Frank Jackson. And Jackson's about to land on a lapper almost. B-Lars is trying to take advantage of this to go by. Look at this. Outside line. Going to follow the lapper in. Jackson crosses up and puts the lapper down, which puts B-Lars down. And Killian Ortiz takes advantage to go by. So the lapper certainly played a bit of a factor there. Not what you want to see, but sometimes it happens. So Eagland, all by himself, still in 4th place. And we got a rider down there on the inside. I don't know what's going on back there with the lap traffic, but they're having a day. Castellaneta still a quiet 3rd. Shirley back into 2nd now, I should say. So it looks like Castellaneta fell that last time by. And it's a 12-second lead for this man, which, similar to Seth Carr in the MX2 class, Tyler Lang is the type of guy you don't want to give a 12-second lead to because he just runs with it. He's relentless out front. I feel like we say that a lot, about Seth Carr in the MX2 class, but Lang just is so tough. Doesn't make mistakes. Runs very strong laps. Kind of just does his own thing, honestly. I feel like that's one of Lang's MO. Like when you see him in a battle, he's so meticulous. Doesn't push the issue and try to make a ridiculously aggressive pass. Also doesn't let people take advantage of him. He reads situations really well. And kind of like, I don't want to say time trials, but really focuses more of the entire race about what he's doing and how fast he can get from point A to point B instead of, where's this rider? How do I catch him? What position am I in? Can I get up to 5th? That kind of thing. He's just like, yeah, I'm just going to go as fast as I can for as long as I can and not think about anybody else on the track. And it seems to work for him. It's a #1 plate on his bike for a reason. Got himself a 12.3 second lead, and him and Seth Shirley pretty much matched last time by 43.3, 43.7, only 0.4 difference. Everything's kind of settling down here. The top 5 are pretty spread apart. 6 and 7 with B-Lars closing back up on Ortiz. Starting to get interesting again. Eddie Lehman having a quiet ride in 8th, dealing with some heat from Blake O'Brien and Luke Sullivan. Sullivan laps B. Nelly, and they throw dualies. So it's been a little up and down for Luke Sullivan since he's returned to racing. Missed about 5-6 rounds of nationals and missed quite a few GPs as well. And as I say that, he goes down. But it has not been quite, I would say, the same Sully we saw pre-hiatus. Not sure if there's any reason for that or what have you. I'm guessing Partolo was the guy that went down in the first corner, and golly, it's really hurt him. He has been so fast this whole race, but he just keeps getting caught up in other dramas as he's working on trying to get Devin Davis. Look at this, outside, 3 wide. This is going to be tight. Woo! And look at Partolo launching up the hill, landing on a rider, getting passed up there by Sully, then gets into Sully. Sully crosses up, takes D. Davis down, and Partolo somehow stays up. They landed on a lapper up there, and I don't know who that lapper was, but that was quite interesting right there, as Sully is now trying to weave through all these guys and stay ahead of Caleb Hall, as Caleb Hall's like, please give me some room. I'm trying to get by as well. Midfield battles, catch the fever. It's like Demolition Derby back here. As O'Brien and Teddy Lehman hanging out pretty close still. Ortiz is back on B-Lars again. Oh, we got a fight brewing here as... Oh, look at this. Seth Shirley and Colby Eaglin are going at it. Eaglin just got by Shirley, and he is right behind Castellaneta. 2, 3, 4. Suddenly nose to tail, and this is good news for Eaglin. As we said, trying to limit the damage. If he can get up to second, only would lose 3 points. T-Lang, who's now 26 seconds out front. Castellaneta has to funnel in behind a lapped rider right there, and then this time it's Eaglin that has to settle in behind, and Shirley tries to get up there and take advantage. Not quite close enough just yet. Scrubbing off this jump and to the inside. Swoops back across. Ooh, that's a nice line right there by Eaglin. Doolies! Outside, crossing over the start, and he's going to huge momentum, rips into second, and Shirley takes advantage of it as well. That was just Castellaneta, a wrong line choice right there. And those guys just took him to school. Outside to in, down across the start straight. Shirley back into third, Eaglin all the way up to P2. They're not going to catch T-Lang out front, but this is the best Eaglin could have hoped for otherwise. Get up to second and hope things turn around in the second moto. Seems unlikely that the World Championship is going to fall his way, but if it's going to fall his way at all, he's got to do everything he can to maximize his points haul every moto, because Lang is just, as I said, the word is relentless, man. He's just there every time. And now, speaking of relentless, Seth Shirley's going to try and inside here at the top of the hill. No one's made that work, and Shirley doesn't make it work either. But Eaglin gets a bit of a gap. Can Shirley close it back down? We're about to find out. Ooh, little rear end kick there for Seth Shirley, sliding through the corner. Oh, and Castellaneta's lost a spot to Frank Jackson, so he slips back to 5th. Jackson now finds his way to 4th. Arlo's crawled all the way up to 8th. Good ride for him as Castellaneta and Jackson doing battle here. Cross over the start straight together and bounce into this corner. Castellaneta, I think he thought about an inside line right there, but kind of realized they'd both go down if he did it because of the way that rut that folds on top of itself coming into the corner. So while Jackson's bouncing into the corner, Castellaneta tries to jump to the bottom of it. They basically just lay on top of each other as Jackson finally makes a mistake. And Castellaneta says, "Thank you very much, sir. I will scoot right by and take advantage." Go back into 4th place. So let's go back up to this fight. Excuse me. Sorry for my allergies acting up right now. I think it's the pepper in this this potato. Is Shirley tries that inside again and goes for a wild ride at the top of the hill. Tries to land in that inside rut. It doesn't work. And then went to the outside, almost blew that rut as well, and swapped almost off the top of the hill. That was... could have been much worse. Man, Seth is riding loose. You can see it, even from this onboard perspective, how much he's moving around because, unlike MX bikes, the head stays with where the handlebars are leading you. So if the bars are turned a certain direction on a whip or facing forward, going down a straightaway, that's where your head's going to go. And the way that the gyro of the bike is whipping around behind him as he goes through some of these bumps. You're looking left, right, and then, hey, it straightens back out. Definition of loose when you're looking from a first-person perspective. So I bet if we poke our head out here, we'd see him bouncing around a little bit more. Coming into this corner. Yeah, pretty smooth through there. Over the wall jump, kind of sways back and forth. I think this section will give us a good tail right here. It's really bumpy. Oh, he's going to take a smooth outside line. Just jump out there. Ignore all that. So let's see this. He's still trying to make this work. Nope. Gave it up. Not trying to go there anymore. But bouncing down the hill right there. So tricky on a 450. That Partolo is absolutely flying. 43.8 last time by. He is still in P8, but he's trying to close that gap down. Oh! Goes for a little bit of a spin right there. Back to our race leader, Tyler Lang. Time should expire this time by, so 2-lap board will be coming out next, and cruise control. He's got this thing in the back pocket, 25-second lead. So at this point, it's just about bringing it home and winning this moto and extending his championship lead out to 32 points. And if he can have a solid 1-1 sweep here today, he will most likely set himself up at least the opportunity to wrap things up next week when we go racing next Monday in RFGP competition once again. Oh, that's a mistake, and he's gone down, runs into the back of a lapper. So that's not too big of an issue. Sully, wait a minute, Sully out of the moto? It says his bike blew up. Uh-oh, we got problems. Did he at least make it back to the mechanics area? Nope. Bike blew up in the corner and laid it down. Sad. Obviously, he's being facetious. Can't blow up the bike in the game. Honestly, I will say, if JLV wants to make this game a bit more interesting just for like a fun free play perspective, I'm not talking about for these pro races because people would hate it. He has knockout mode. How cool would it be if he has like component mode where taking heavy hits or crashing like 2 or 3 times actually damages the bike, and after like the 3rd or 4th crash it makes it like DNF type ride or something like that. Or if you spend too much time revving the bike out in the air or something like that, or you just have a random mechanical failure. So if you do 30s with your friends, you could just like see what weird mechanical failures you could have. I don't know. I think it'd be kind of cool. But I guess the liability with it, of course, he's not using quote-unquote real bikes, but the liability of using the quote-unquote real dynos and then having the bike malfunction probably doesn't sit too well with the manufacturers. Sully did a 720 in a corner. Interesting. Got that 720 going for days, though. Show of hands, anybody in the chat who thinks T-Lang isn't going to win this title? Anybody still got their bets on Colby Eaglin to break through for this thing? But Colby Eaglin himself thinks he can do it. The district boys all backing him over there. Probably believes something could happen that could go his way, but what's not going his way right there is jumping off the track in 2nd place and handing it back over to Seth Shirley. So Shirley goes by into P2. It's a JIBR.co 1-2 again. Eaglin looks keen to fight back already, though. Whoa! Launching in there. White flag this time by, so he's got one lap to make it work. This is a last lap dash between these two. And Shirley holds steady out front. Lap traffic coming into play right there. Has to bounce out of the rut. But Eaglin had to do the same. Really gets that inside rut. We got to ride her down. It's going to become a lapper. Does it get out of the way fast enough? Just trying to get to the outside and lets them go by the looks of it. Not sure who that is. Is that Aaron Rockefeller, I guess, letting him go? Shirley bounces to the outside rut there and keeps it rolling. Colby Eagland bouncing into view. Right on his heels still, pushing this thing all the way to the bitter end. Looks like it is Seth's to lose at this point with half a lap still to go. Colby's got to close it down and close it down quick. Meanwhile, up front, this man is 2 corners away from adding another one to the list this season and extending his championship lead that much more. He's going to let a couple lappers go by, give him an extra free lap, and bring us on home. MXGP Race 1 in Germany is going to go to the defending world champion, Tyler Lang takes Moto 1 in Teutschenthal. Sick Oppo whip to death, and Shirley is going to help teammates playing a factor here, as Shirley's going to cross in P2 just ahead of Eagland, and that's going to be a 5-point swing, 29 out to 34 after this first moto. 5 motos still to go. It's a 34-point deficit that Eagland's going to have to overcome. Frank Jackson looks like he'll pick up P4 no problem. And then Castellaneta, who I believe entered somewhere in the range of 57, 58 points down or something like that, is actually going to lose out 9 points this moto. They'll end up P5. Vilars hung tight for a good, strong 6th place result. And then Partolo, who still has the fastest lap of the race, 141.812, was never beaten after he set it early on, is going to bring it on down, and he will pick up a 7th place finish in this one. So came back well, but could have been much more. Hillian Ortiz, P8. Caleb Hall, 9th. Teddy Lehman, 10th. Devin Davis, 11th. Ooh, O'Brien going at it right now with somebody. I don't even know what's going on. Are these guys a lap down? No, okay, O'Brien was the last guy to finish on the lead lap. So Jason Stubbs was 13th. Kyle Boardman, 14th. Aaron Rockefeller, 15th. Jay-Z, 16th. Carl Robitaille, 17th. Bryce Foley, 18th. Hunter Ash, 19th. And Donovan Palladino is fighting Tommy Dallaire for the final points paying position, and he's got it by 6/10. This guy's fought all the way to the end for 1 point, and it goes to Donovan Palladino. All right, anybody in chat hanging out have some fun questions we can talk about while we have this slight intermission before MX2 Race 2? Chat is not as lively tonight as I like. Where are you guys at? What are we thinking? All right. Nope, no one chatting. We got F22 Matt just says dead. No one's hanging out. It's all quiet. Oh, D Davis, another P11 result. Ugh, sad. Just want to make the extended highlights What's up, Dicey? Just lurking, just hanging, cruising, having a good time. My night is going swell. Logan Reith over on YouTube. How is yours going? Hopefully you're enjoying from wherever you're watching. What's everyone drinking right now? Hit me in the chat with what the drink of choice is tonight. For me, it's water. I had Dr. Pepper earlier today. I haven't been drinking hardly much at all lately. I haven't weighed myself in a minute. I wonder if I've lost some weight. Not that I'm heavy at all. I'm freaking pencil, but stopped drinking quite a bit, so curious. Chocolate milk from Dicey. There we go. D. Davis needs another cup of coffee. F22 Matt's got a Diet Coke. Ooh, Aaron Crease with an Arizona Hard. It's tough to beat. That's that good right there. All right, I like it. We got a good assortment of different drinks being drunk. Not all one thing. It's not all water, milk, whatever. People still drink milk. Is that a thing? You guys drinking milk these days? Oh, sounds like my daughter just banged on the door. She's up here doing something. Causing a ruckus. Ooh, some chalky milk there for Logan Reith. Nice. Like that. Got to serve your country tomorrow. Quit drinking during the week. So I'd imagine you are in the military? Or some version of that? Dicey's 26, addicted to the milk. Jenko over on YouTube's drinking a Pepsi. So let's see. What have we got so far? We've got D. Davis wants a coffee. We got 2 chocolate milks, an Arizona Hard, a Diet Coke, a Pepsi, and Dicey's addicted to milk. So there you have it. Unfortunately, says F22 Matt. What division? If you don't mind saying, you don't have to if you don't want to. Or what branch, I should say. Thoughts on the KTM 250? Well, I don't have much thoughts on them. I have not ridden the new KTM 250s myself. I think they look fantastic. Army. Come on, they all matter. You know that. Naval wars are still important. Air Force, obviously, has their role. They all matter. All right, thanks everybody for the chit chat. It's nice to hang out with you people sometimes. I wish I could just like regularly stream more, but all these races, man, they stack up. And I might be streaming some MX bike stuff at the end of this week anyway, so I'm going to be streaming a lot of racing. And it never stops, so I don't feel like I have time to stop and stream for you guys. All right, who are we waiting for again? Is this Holtzy again? What is going on, Holtzy? You got problems? Cannot get in the server on the number 15 machine. Is he going to get timed out? He's got 10 seconds. Oh, he just made it. Or Noah Jones, I guess, is whoever that is. Yeah, Noah Jans or whatever. I keep calling Holtzy out, but it's not even him. All right, here we go. MX2 Race 2 is off and running. Long gate hold. A lot of guys hit. And up the inside, the 5 of Tharp's trying to get there first. He's going to get there first. And down goes his teammate car. Braden Tharp rips the Design Lab Co. whole shot. Head over to the designlabco.com and check out all their graphics. And support the people that support our streams. Tharp leads this thing early on after a P2 finish in Moto 1. And long road ahead of him now for our newly crowned champion, Seth Carr. Not sure if he's sprayed the champagne just yet. Oh, Tharp going for a bit of a ride. Maverick Snyder, 10th in Moto 1, I think it was, or 9th, I should say. trying to fight for the lead, and here comes Hayden Stevenson as well. Look at how close everybody is on this opening lap. Stevenson getting swapped sideways, outside for Emmanuel Cepeda, trying to get in there. Inside move on Stevenson, gets there and forces the maneuver, passes him up. Nicely done in the end. Ooh, mistake for Cepeda, exits stage left. Rejoins still in second. But Stevenson now knocking on the door of opportunity right there. And I think Holtze jumped over to a Yamaha this moto. He's in P5 there, right behind the 58 of Maverick Snyder. Stevenson is all over the place trying to make this pass, and instead might get squared up and passed by Snyder, who's landing and trying to get to the inside, forces the issue. Nearly contact, and Holtze slides around the outside, takes advantage to move up into fourth place. Read that one well. Meanwhile, Snyder goes a little bit wide. Here comes Dylan Dallaire hobbling down the hill, trying to get up there. Are pulling out a little advantage as Stevenson just finding himself in all kinds of battles right now, trying to go get Cepeda, trying to hold off Holtze, and hang on to third all the while. Good fight, though. You guys are making him work for it. Update on Seth Carr, P19 after crashing in turn number 1 as Cepeda jumps off the track again. This time he cannot rejoin in second. He goes back to fourth. Stevenson up into P2. Holtze now third. With Cepeda now fourth, and Snyder rounding out the top 5. Jeff Cooper, Dylan Dallaire, Jared Gummison, Alec Horn, and Tyler Perez make up our top 10. Looks like Alec Horn may have just gone down. He is moving down the order quickly. Tough break there for the number 29 Nexus Triumph. Speaking of Nexus, his teammate Hayden Stevenson on whatever this new program is that he and I forget who in the 450 class is running. Oh, Luke Sullivan. Not sure what the deal is with them, but they're running the same kit, just in 2 different classes. Holtze in the 250 and Sully on the 450, obviously. And I got to tell you, man, they're keeping Tharp out front quite honest in the race lead 3 minutes into this thing. Bouncing into the corner. Up and back down the hill. So Tharp working on a 1.5 second advantage. 1:45.796 last time by was the fastest lap on track. Oh, he's down. Tharp lays it down from the lead. Must have slid out on corner exit right there. It's the only way I could think you could fall there, other than maybe a high side. But he's back up and running now in 5th, just ahead of Dylan Dallaire. Cepeda went by, Snyder went by, Holtze went by, and our new leader is Hayden Stevenson. 4th place in moto number 1. And look, we kind of talked about it in that first moto, how he's been jumping back and forth between a 450 and a 250, and honestly has been kind of excelling on a 450 of late, including in the RFGP scene. Maybe he's back on a 250 with a vengeance and something to prove, so we can shut up and stop talking about his struggles on a 250, because it certainly seems like he's putting those to bed at the moment. Watching this battle for the lead unfold here in Germany, 5 minutes in to this 30-minute plus 2-lap race. Holtze jumped off the track right there. Very good save to kind of not let it get too far off of his hands. Stevenson is riding very well out front, not caving to this pressure whatsoever, and both of them riding very well. Holtze actually has the fastest lap of the race at a 162. But Stevenson also went 144.3 and swung out a little bit wide right there. Holtzy's got usually the preferred line right here is to that inside. He's going to try to swoop the outside by the mechanics area into the race lead. Evan Holt, what a power move by the Allied Yamaha, and he takes it over. He had the smallest window of a gap to slide through and get by Hayden Stevenson right there, and he used every last inch of it, but Stevenson's ready to fight back. Trying to get to this inside. Ooh, almost came together with him there. Big whip on the triple for Holtzy. Whoa, swapping all over the place coming into that jump. Could have been a lot worse, but able to hold it together. Jumping in and out of the gully, back up to the other side. Stevenson bouncing into the corner. So now can Stevenson respond? Meanwhile, holy smokes, this battle back here. Snyder dealing with Cepeda, trying to get by him. Tharp also trying to find a way through. And then Dallaire on the 229 might be trying to get Tharp up the inside into this corner. Force the issue. They come together and they both have to come to a dead stop before they keep going. Jared Gummison hanging out just behind them. Seth Carr is not too far behind them now either. Well, actually about 10 seconds back of that battle, but he's up to 8th. And that is bad news for all of these guys because they don't want to have to deal with him. But Carr's only 18 seconds off of the race lead. And he was down in the first turn and as far back as, I think, 30th or something, or somewhere back there, where I saw him. Snyder and Cepeda going at it. Nakatoji teammates trying to figure out who's going to run third place in this race for the next little bit. It is Cepeda. Snyder wants it, though. And Snyder, LCQ win to 9th in Moto 1, trying to fight for a podium spot in Moto 2. What a day he's having. Cepeda not going to let him have it just yet. Going back and forth, crossing over a little bit on one another. Snyder jumps to the outside. Grubs this little single and just keeping the heat on him just in case. We still got a close battle for the lead as well. 1.3 seconds between Evan Holt and Hayden Stevenson. Their fight is good. This one is almost better though because these guys are all over the track trying to find a way through. Is Snyder, and Cepeda's just holding steady right in front of him. Not letting him have it whatsoever. And Tharp is starting to leak back into the picture here as well, so this could turn into a 3-rider battle before long. As I say that, looks like Tharp must have went down just in the background. Dallaire goes by, Gummison goes by, there is Tharp, and here comes Seth Carr, although there he goes off the track. Now 3 riders battling it out for 5th. Dallaire, Gummison, Tharp nose to tail. Look at this. Snyder trying inside on his teammate. Try this far inside, rip it, and get there. Not quite. Trying every angle he can think of, though. Different lines, outside to in, crossing over. And Cepeda's just hitting all the marks. That's really what it boils down to. As it appears Stevenson may have just gone down or either had a slight tip over, because now Holtzy's got himself about a 4-second lead here on lap 7. So just about 10 minutes into this 30-minute plus 2-lap race. And Evan Holt is continuing to lead and ran fastest lap of the race again last time by 1:43.617 as we peek back to this battle, and it just keeps on giving. Maverick Snyder, I mean, maybe at this point they're thinking of pushing each other. They're kind of doing that a little bit. They went 1:44.5, 1:44.9 last time by, so they both ran their personal best, at least thus far of the race. Who's going to break first? Because I feel like something's going to happen here. It has to, right? One of these guys is going to have a mistake or a moment. Something, anything. Like it maybe just came from Snyder. Cepeda, I don't hear him. Yeah, Snyder down. And Dallaire went down as well. So through goes Tharp and Seth Carr. Both squeaking by them. Carr is now up into the top 5. Tharp running 4th. And things are starting to tighten back up out front once again. Carr is only... Well, it's going to come down again. Yeah, he's only 15, 17 seconds off the leader. Is Seth Carr. 6 under 17, so... One fall-off crash and a couple good laps away from potentially still having a shot at winning this thing after being down to turn 1, and he's down again! Just as I say that, Dallaire's going to go by, Snyder's going to go through. Whoa, another mistake. That's a weird double fall-off crash for the new MX2 World Champion. So that is going to cost him a lot of time. Meanwhile, battle for the lead starting to brew. 1.8 seconds between race leader Evan Holt and Hayden Stevenson behind him on the Honda. What is up, Money Maker? Thank you so much for watching all the videos. Hopefully, if you are just joining us here for the first time on Start Your Systems TV, you hang out and watch a bit of our show as MX2 Race 2 is circulating the racetrack here in Germany. So I have 18 minutes plus 2 laps to go, and we are very up in the air on figuring out who's going to win the overall here today at the Tal Kessel circuit. For example, Evan Holt in the first moto, 14th. Hayden Stevenson, 4th. So 4-2 right now. Looks like it could be get it. Ah, that's good to hear. You like the MXGP 21 videos. Honestly, I just need to start making a lot more content in MXGP and MX vs. ATV and Supercross the game, because as much as people that know I like sim games hate it when I do that because they're thinking I'm selling out to them, the reality is a lot more people play those games than this one. And so, got to cater to those crowds quite a bit more. Looks like as quickly as that gap started to close down, that Holtzy kind of wrangled it back together and opened it back up again over 3 seconds. He ran a 1:44.492. New fastest lap of the race from this man right here, Braden Tharp. And as I say that, Max Wilczek actually in P14 one-ups it. But Tharp had gone 1:43.07 as he works on passing Maverick Snyder, and he's got him into P4. Nice move for the Panini Motorsports number 5 program there. Certainly starting to wind things up a little bit. He's 20 seconds off the lead. And actually, I think as I say, he ran that lap, he must have crashed right after that, because he was about 2 seconds behind Cepeda and then fell back into Snyder's clutches. So not what he was hoping for there. As we poke back out to our leader approaching the halfway point. So Evan Holt checking into the race lead on lap number 10. He has led since, I believe, about the 5th lap of the race. And continues to just slowly extend the lead over Hayden Stevenson, Emmanuel Cepeda, Braden Tharp, Maverick Snyder, Dylan Dallaire, Seth Carr, Race Cobble, Alec Horn. All in the mix. And yes, indeed, I know about the 2-stroke packs in Supercross 6. Gosh, the lap traffic is everywhere right now for Evan Holt as he tries to weave through. Caden Estes is coming up next that he'll need to lap. He's already lapped up past Wyatt Grant Justin Thomas, Jack Gatlin having a terrible motos way back there. Looks like a couple guys have already called it a day. Evan Vanderkoy, Jeremy Siebold out of this moto. And if you'll excuse me for a moment. Need to play moderator here a little bit and get some of these people out of our chat room. Sorry about that. Perhaps I can collab with Mr. Big Fries. I like him a lot. Maybe do some stuff here soon. Let's go back to our Moto 1 winner, Seth Carr, see where things are at for him. Kind of having a bit of a Hayden Deegan day here. Wrapped up the World Championship after the first moto today. And granted, he did fall in the first corner, so it's been nothing but charging back, but won the first moto. Wasn't necessarily a convincing win, but won it nonetheless. And Moto 2 has not really gone the way I think he hoped it had today. I think he really wanted to sweep this day and stand atop the podium. Still a shot to get up there, at least on the box overall. But he's got some work to do. All right, Moneymaker, have a good evening. Thanks for stopping by. As Maverick Snyder getting caught by Seth Carr now. Oh, Butter's saying Carr's in the danger zone. I'm feeling dangerous, as James Stewart would say. 147.7, 143.5, his personal best lap. And he is going to get the pass done on Snyder, I think. Yes, he just forces his way in there and makes the move. I think he is starting to wind it up. I think you're absolutely right, Butters. Why do I got to ban these people, dude? Jesus, they're everywhere. Sorry about that. What's up, Heckman? Oh, you said GTG and you meant not gonna lie. Sorry, I thought you meant gotta go. But yeah, definitely would be a banger. I'll reach out to Mr. Big Fries. I know that we were supposed to do some content. We were gonna do like a pit bike thing in MXR's ATV Legends, but then I never heard anything else about that. They invited us to it and then nothing. So not really sure what's going on with that. 141.8. Yeah, I think he's cooking, and as I say that, he goes down. Found the trampoline right there. Gonna roll over the hill, though, in P7 and keep on rolling. It took a little bit more than that, Alex. You guys will hear about that soon. Gosh, how is Tharp still doing that line? That step up is ridiculous. He's back into third, though. So 2-3 on the day versus a 4-2 out of Hayden Stevenson. Well, there was supposed to be like a pit bike content creators race. I don't know if they ended up doing it or not. Maybe they did it without me. I don't know. Like I said, I was kind of invited to it, but then never heard anything else, so I wasn't sure they were still doing it. Didn't see any place on Discord where they were doing it or organizing it. But it was supposed to be like, yeah, I think like Reaper Doc was going to do it, Mr. Big Fries, me, Wyndham, a couple other people. We've definitely done some things before, influencer tournaments and stuff like that. I don't remember if I've ever done one with Mr. Big Fries, though. A lot with Wyndham, Yellow SUK, Thailand. Guys like those, done a lot of collabs. Well, this man right here, Evan Holt, continues to lead in Germany. 21 minutes have come and gone, 9 minutes and 2 laps still to go. Can he win this second moto for what I believe will be his first career moto win in RFGP competition? Be a huge breakthrough for him if he can get it done. And he has got probably about 6-7 laps still to go to make this dream a reality. Aiden Stevenson has fallen off, is not there with him anymore, as Tharp has made it up into third, but he just went down and now has to deal with Dylan Delaire, Cepeda. Seth Carr's a little bit too far back to be thinking this could be his, but he is in fifth, 37 seconds off the lead. Cepeda and Delaire may be the closest fight inside the top 5. Tharp is just like, get the heck out of the way, lappers, man. They're everywhere. And look at that. Someone else looks like they're using a Cade Matherly skin again. No, actually, you know what? Tyler Nichols, that's his stuff. I won't call him out too much on that. No Ethan tonight, Alex. Haven't seen him out here. But he has been racing a lot of the GP stuff, so seen him around. I don't know if either of you have the day off Thursday, but I'm probably going to race EU Ironman. Anyone's around? Did Unadilla a couple weeks ago. Trying to get a natty number. Only 6 points off of top 99 or whatever it is. I don't know how the heck my old ass has earned 29 points in pro racing this year, but you know. Hell yeah, Butters, maybe. Yeah, absolutely, Moneymaker. I'll be streaming. If I do race it, I should be racing it. It'll be, I think, 12 Pacific on Thursday. Streaming right here on Start Your Systems TV on Twitch. Well, I gotta touch base with you, Alex, because we got some decisions to make. There's some stuff that is happening, so whenever you got some free time, let me know. I have both, Moneymaker. Primarily, I use my PS5, but to be honest right now, I only use my PS5 to play Minecraft with my daughter. Otherwise, a PC pretty much everything else. Yeah, Butters, if you go to the forums, under racing, it's like 2025 projected national numbers. And there's one for EU, NA nationals, and then EU and NA GPs. There you go. Vij's just shared it. I think. I'm hoping it's that and not something he shouldn't be sharing. Sir. Don't want to have to kick you guys out of the chat. Honestly, just turned into a podcast here. Damon Collis over on YouTube saying AJ smells. All right, so back here in the 3, 4, 5, 6 range, looks like Cepeda and Snyder are still battling each other, and Seth Carr is trying to catch back up to them again after yet another fall-off crash. These guys are all just jockeying for positions, man, trying to find ways to go fast, but it's this man they're all chasing. I'm going to go on board with Holtzy. Yeah, you can add me on Xbox. I believe my gamer tag on Xbox is just Osari, O-S-A-R-I. If it's not just Osari, it's Osari52. So O-S-A-R-I, either that or O-S-A-R-I 52. You can add me there. You could just add me. My gamer tag should show up if you search one of those two. Can't remember the last time I turned my Xbox on, though. It's sitting right across the room from me, but it's been a minute. All right, looks like Holtzy opened up that gap again because Stevenson went down again. So now it's 14.8 seconds. This is Holtzy's race to lose at this point. And he does not want to hear that, so I hope he has a stream close. We got problems, though, because Jeremy Seabolt's been sitting on the edge of the track for a long time, and he finally got nudged onto the track. So is someone going to kick him, or is he going to sit on the track? He is going to sit on the track. He was sitting right next to the track through here. We saw him from our camera well. He's 853 seconds. No, O-S-A-R-I. But yes, you pronounce it Osari like that. And then maybe the O's capitalized, I don't know. Can't remember, to be honest. But interesting that Seabolt has found his way, I, not Y, onto the track. You have it right. You just need the I instead of the Y. Oh, Race Cobble just cleaned out Alex Horn for 9th. Yeah, there you go, Moneymaker. It's that or that with a 5 and a 2 at the end. Race Cobble gets picked up and taken out by Max Wilczek. Some drama going on midfield, apparently. These guys are going at each other. Meanwhile, Seth Carr just went 141.6 and is all the way up to 4th. He's trying to win this Grand Prix. And as it runs, he's in position to do it. 1-4 will beat a 4-2 out of Hayden Stevenson, but he wants to go get Emmanuel Cepeda. And we still have quite a few laps to make this happen for him. So let's find out what happens. 52, not 55. 5-2. Oh, Card got there and then made a mistake. That's going to cost him. Just can't quite stay off the ground right now, Seth Carr. This moto could have come to him a little bit better. He's all the way back to 5th, though. Stevenson needs to go win this moto for it to fall his way, and Holtzy's making it tough for him. A 1-5 still beats a 4-2 by a single point on the day. And no one else is really up here that can do anything about it. Because all the people that were right behind Seth Carr in Moto 1 are having terrible motos. Braden Tharp is 8th, so 2-8 for him. Colin Holden, who we see right here, is going 3-6. And then Stevenson obviously on the 4-2. Max Wilczek, who was 5th in the first moto, is 10th right now. So it's kind of been the nature of this MX2 World Championship season that no one's gotten consistent results except Seth Carr, which is why he's wrapped it up so early. I mean, we still have 2 full rounds of racing after this and 4 motos, and he is going to leave here with in the area of almost a 200-point lead. And the championship is already his. I wonder if he'll run up with the gold plates next week as the world champion. Be kind of a neat thing if he does that. He's back on the prowl again, trying to go get this man, Dylan Dallaire. And Dallaire, for his own sake, is trying to go get Emmanuel Cepeda to get back into 3rd. Massive lead for Evan Holt right now, 16.5 seconds. And Stevenson looks like he's just going to try to hold on in that position. Ooh, a little bit kick sideways there for Dallaire. Dallaire coming off of winning Moto 2 at Budds Creek last week in a, honestly, kind of a shocking, random moto win for a triple-digit guy. You don't see it very often, but he was flying. And of all the places I thought he would get it done, I figured GPs would be where we'd see Dallaire pick up a moto win first and steady one in the Natties. We got 2-lap board coming out this time by as Evan Holtz already checked in. And here comes my daughter into the room. Let's see if she has anything to say for us tonight. You got anything for us, Holly?
Mom and Daddy brought me up at school, and Mom and Daddy picked me up.
Yeah. Dropped her off at school and picked her up today. First day of preschool. Always fun. And she's off to sleep. Yeah, that's crazy, Butters. Dylan starting off in novice Supercross and wins an RF National Moto before the season is done. Crazy. But cool as well. Like, it's awesome to see more fresh faces mixing it up, battling with these guys, and making close racing for us. Like, Holtzy's been strong this year as well. We've seen him almost win some races on a number of occasions. And to say he's established is starting to become the norm. It's been around long enough that we know Evan Holt can mix it up with these guys. See ya, Moneymaker. Have a good evening. Thanks for stopping by. As the white flag is waving, Evan Holt trying to win this moto. It is not going to be for the overall. In fact, it's going to be this man now easily done in the end with a 1-3 to beat a 4-2 out of Hayden Stevenson. But Holtzy returning from the dead, 14th in Moto 1, not what he wanted at all, and is going to have one hell of a story to tell on the turnaround here in Moto 2. What is up, Colin Jr.? How you doing, good sir? I know that feeling all too well, though, that Evan is dealing with there. Oh, as I say that, he goes down. He's got 15 seconds in hand. But this is going to make it a little bit more scary. Oh, Jack Gatlin, don't you do it. Don't do it to him. As Holtzy picks it up and almost gets put back on the ground again. Now he's dealing with lappers, and these are guys fighting for some points. Gatlin is 16th. Oh, I thought that guy was going to land on him. Stevenson now just 5 seconds back. And Holtzy is just holding on for dear life. He has got 3 turns left to navigate. Really 4 turns. This one and then 3 ones after it. So now it's 3 turns to go to win this moto. And he's just begging Jack Gatlin to not crash in front of him. Rips through the rut. He's got 5.8 seconds in hand. Gets through this corner, and now he could just put it on cruise control if he wants to. Final straightaway down by the mechanics area. Here it is, folks. MX2, race 2 in Germany goes to Evan Holt as he takes the dub. And that's a popular win. A lot of people love Holtzy in the pits. Hayden Stevenson fought valiantly. He'll pick up second. And it'll be this man with the dub and the World Championship clinching moment here this evening. He already won it in Moto 1, but this is for the overall. Seth Carr is going to win the RFGP of Germany to put a stamp of approval on his 2024 MX2 World title. Incredible performance, incredible night. Well-deserved, no question about it. Cepeda ends up 4th, Dylan Dallaire 5th, Colin Holden 6th, Maverick Snyder 7th, Max Wilczek getting pushed out in 8th, but I think he'll hold that position. And Tharp ends up 9th. Alec Horn just got passed for 10th. Jared Gummison got him. Horn's pushing him all the way to the flag. This could be fun with 2 turns to go. Let's see what happens. Horn across the start straight, trying to go to this inside. He's going to send it. He's going for it. Oh, he just backs out of the challenge, and Gummison gets a great run through the corner. Now look at this. Horn's going to try this inside. It's tricky. Into this gully. He's going to get on the power. He's going to be alongside him. It's a drag race. They touch. And it's going to be Gummison crossing the line in 10th. Oh, that was fun to watch. Race Cobble looks like he'll be 11th. Jeff Cooper 12th. Jack Gatlin 13th. Or 14th, I should say. Jax Lindsay in 15th here. 16th for Adam Holm. 17th, Lucas Arriagada. Noah Jones in 18th. Noah Jans, 18th. His PC is terrible. Tyler Blowers, 19th. And Lumi got a point. He finished up in P20. As Evan Holt takes the win, he wins the battle, but the war has been won both on the evening and for the season by this man, Seth Carr, your 2024 MX2 World Champion. Awesome stuff. Incredible year for Seth Carr. Well deserved. Now we can go celebrate. It's over. It is all over, and penalties have come in to confirm Evan Holt wins the moto. And I have no idea what these overalls are going to be, but if I had to guess, it's Seth Carr. Aiden Stevenson 1-2 because they went 1-3-4-2, and then after that, I don't know. Evan Holtz 14-1 might get him on the podium. Who knows? Colin Holden ended up going 3-6. That'll probably be third, to be fair. Tharp ended up going 2-9. Yeah, I think 3-6. Colin Holden's going to get third on the day. So congrats to the podium finishers here at Teutschenthal. One moto left to go. It's MXGP Race 2 coming up. Wyatt P25 but says whatever, we're locking in for Iron Man. I mean, I respect it. You came out here, you raced, it happened, now we move on. That's how things go in life sometimes. Just as a reminder, what happened in MXGP Race 1. Tyler Lang took the win from Seth Shirley, Colby Eagland, Frank Jackson, Braden Castellaneta, Brandon Larson, Austin Partolo, Killiam Ortiz, Caleb Hall, and Teddy Lehman in our first moto. That was your top 10. What will happen in Moto 2? What I'm really keen to see right now, and I'm sure some people in the chat will also like this, can Austin Partolo get a start? Kid has been on rails here this evening and went down in the first turn, put himself way back in the field, but is now set to focus forward. Yeah, probably, Colin. I still want to talk to Navo before jumping in. Like, as I've said many, many times before, I don't really want to step on the shoes of the people that are there. I was told that Navo hasn't done all the races or something like that, so, you know, if that's an opportunity opened up where I could fill in a couple times or something like that, but I'd also actually prefer to work with Navo on this and get the best quality coverage out for the MX Bike streams that we can. Obviously, I've been doing highlights of late over on the YouTube side, so even if it's something as simple as doing highlights from Navo streams that we put on YouTube so we can kind of spread the love a little bit, I don't know. But I would definitely love to be around and help out the MX Bikes community as much as I possibly can. Give that game some love that it deserves, and hopefully incentivize Poboso to actually fix the fucking netcode. Sorry, not sorry, excuse my language, but Jesus Christ, how long are we going to sit here and wait for it? Yeah. So I don't understand who's Cupcake, and where did he come from? Because he's just been suddenly posting about streaming as well, but I don't know who that is. So either way, yeah, I would like to for the Bud stream on Friday, be around and help out if I can or what have you. But we'll see. I'll let everyone know for sure whichever direction we end up going. All right, here we go, folks. MXGP Race 2, 30 card is sideways, revs are up, and we are racing. Final time of the night in Germany. Pretty good start for B-Lars once again. T-Lang is going to try to push him out and get the hole shot, and looks like he will. The Design Lab Co. hole shot brought to you by the Design Lab Co. goes to Tyler Lang. Brandon Larson right behind him. Another good start for Seth Shirley. I see Frank Jackson up in the mix as well. Shirley's going to sneak up the inside, get into third on the number 6. Jackson slides back to 4th, and then Castellaneta rounds out the top 5. I think I see Eaglin in about 8th, so finally a better start for him. Might be going to 7th up the inside as Shirley poked the nose on Larson, trying to get into 2nd. Doesn't quite get it. Lang sneaking away out front. Getting a little bit of an early gap established. Look at this outside line for Shirley. Not going to work, though. B-Lars, well, actually it might work because he got a great run off that wall jump and pulls even doolies over the finish line jump. Trying to get into 2nd. He has to push out to the 2nd rut. Blocks B-Lars. Allows Frank Jackson up into 3rd. And then a little bit of a mistake, actually, out of Lang. Kind of allowed all of them to close up. The netcode is the issue in the game where everyone just kind of lags into each other, and when you even show the replay file while you're streaming, everyone's glitching really badly. No one looks like they're fluidly playing. They're bouncing all over the place. You don't see the suspension moving naturally. As you can tell in this game, that's not an issue. They fixed all the issues with the ping delay and stuff like that, so that it looks like smooth, fluid gameplay. Even though everyone in the server does have a little bit of lag going on with them, for some reason MX Bikes, they haven't figured that out. So hopefully that's something that is fixed, because I think it'll make the racing scene massively better and the streaming scene god tier. Like, I love MX Sim to death, but I think that would maybe be a death nail for Sim if bikes can get their shit together when it comes to replay of streaming and netcode issues for actually racing one another. Look at Seth Shirley closing up on T-Lang. Jumping out. Doesn't quite get there. Not close enough just yet. Look at the whips they're throwing out front, though. They're having fun. This championship is serious business for Lang, but he's getting upside down on the finish line. Seth Shirley to the inside for the race lead. Bar to bar over the wall jump. Not quite there yet, but right on his teammates' rear fender. And this is for the overall win. If Shirley can go past him and go on to win this moto, he would win the overall in Germany. Look at this. He's trying this inside. He's got it. He hooks it finally and makes the pass. He's been working on that all night. And he finally lands in the rut cleanly. Lang fights right back and gets the lead right back from him. Good fight between the two of them. And respectful, of course, being teammates. So are they going to use the same strategy that they had in Moto 1, where they kind of work together to freight train away from the field? Frank Jackson's coming with them. That's going to be tough to do. Oh, Lang's down from the lead. And Shirley, I don't know if Shirley hit his back fender. Frank Jackson takes over the race lead, and that's huge because Eaglin went by in that soiree. Castellaneta, Partolo also has a good start. Oh, boy, this is going to be a good race. Jackson goes to the lead, though. So Jackson now from Shirley, Partolo, Castellaneta, Eaglin, Lang, the top 6, all separated by 3 seconds. Oh, this is going to be good. I am excited for what this race has in store for us, because now Lang has got to charge forward, and we finally get to see Partolo with a good start. Jackson also, he didn't really have the best start in the first moto, but was running some of the fastest laps of the race. And we know Seth Shirley can turn it on at a moment's notice. Partolo resets fastest lap of the race, 1:42.187. He is trying to catch the race leaders as they fight each other. Partolo is inching up behind them. And he's bringing Colby Eaglin with him. Castellaneta just got passed by Eaglin. Eaglin's now up to 4th. Castellaneta just got him back, actually. They're side by side throwing dualies down this back straightaway. Eaglin's trying to shut the door and force the issue to the outside as Partolo goes down. Eaglin's up to 3rd, getting by Castellaneta. Lang goes through. Teddy Lehman lays it down. Brandon Larson went by. He's now 6th. And Partolo, who just said fastest lap, has got to go back to the drawing board once again, as Shirley is all over Frank Jackson. Trying to make something happen here. Oh, outside move. Brilliant pass by Seth Shirley to take over the race lead. It's not really as though he caught Jackson napping, but Jackson just did not take either of the two preferred lines, which is far inside or far outside. He went to the middle. That line was not really developed yet, and Shirley just laid it into the outside, rips by, and into the race lead he goes. Now he's in position to win the overall with a 2-1. But this man is on a mission right now. He was not in a position in Moto 1 to battle with these guys. Oh, he's down as I say that. Big crash for Colby Eaglin. Castellaneta goes by. Lang is going to come by in just a minute. Lang looks like he maybe just went down. There he is as Eaglin gets back on the track right behind him. And now the championship rivals find each other on the racetrack. That was a golden opportunity for Colby Eaglin that he just threw away. Blake O'Brien right behind them on the Husky, trying to get into the picture. Now Eaglin's trying to look for a way through to go by Tyler Lang on the number 1 machine. And the battle for the lead with Frank Jackson and Seth Shirley also staying very close right now as we peek back up there. He's still within less than a second, trying to push Shirley into a mistake. And these guys are battling it out for 4th. I think these two are going to maybe start trying to push each other forward to go get Braden Castellaneta in 3rd. But they also might just start squaring off against each other back here. I mean, this is the championship fight. Eaglin's got to do something. He's 34 back after that first moto. I mean, he needs to average basically 7 points gained on T-Lang every moto from here on out, which is him winning and Lang finishing 4th or worse every time. Right now, Lang is in 4th, but Eaglin's behind him. And this has been the problem a lot this year, is that when Lang is having issues, Eaglin is not taking advantage of them. And this is, I wouldn't say bad moto for Lang just yet, but he had an opportunity out front to mix it up with those guys and crashed the lead away. So that gave an opportunity for Eaglin to take advantage and try to go to get the leaders, and then he crashed all by himself. So that's what I'm saying. It just hasn't gone the way that Eaglin wants it to, because every time he gets presented with an opportunity to do something about it, he goes down again as well. So we'll see if he can't right the ship a little bit here and figure things out, as Castellaneta just went down. Looks like Jackson had gone down. Now Castellaneta goes down, and all those guys go by. That's Lang up to third, Eaglin fourth, and Jackson gets up right in front of them. Seth Shirley has an 11-second lead now. We went 1-1 in France last week, or 2 weeks ago, and then we had a week off last week, did Seth Shirley, and then he won the second moto at Budds Creek. Things are starting to click for Seth Shirley, and honestly, what this kind of reminds me of with Shirley is it reminds me of the very end of Villapoto's rookie 450 Supercross season, where Villapoto was very fast as a rookie in Supercross, but just never could convert on a win. It was just Reed and Stewart over and over again. They just won all the time. And then Villapoto snuck 2 little wins in right at the end, Seattle and Las Vegas. And then never lost a title to those guys ever again after that. And I feel like Shirley has kind of been playing like his usual self that we saw on a 250 again. Consistency is back. The speed is still there. And I just wonder if this sets him up, first of all, to go into SMX with the full steam ahead on trying to accomplish something really cool. And I also wonder if it rolls into 2025 and he becomes a serious threat for the 450 Supercross title right away. Because this is the form we all kind of expected to see Shirley in at the beginning of motocross. It's taken a bit to get there, but there's learning curves with jumping up to a 450. Everyone experiences them. And now he's kind of figured it out. As I say that, though, jumps to the inside and clips his head on a tough block. That's going to be a pretty quick fall-off crash. Well, gets hit from behind, so that made it a little bit longer. And wait a minute. Oh, never mind. Lang is still behind Frank Jackson. Misread that for a moment. Fixie in the chat wants to know what's 450 standings looking like. This man right here has the championship lead by 34 points over the man right behind him, Colby Eaglin. 5 motos still to go. You're watching the 5th last moto, basically. There's going to be 4 motos left after this one. So Eaglin's got to beat him this one and the last 4 to have a shot at winning the title. Shirley missed a race in the middle, and besides that, was having a lot of problems with consistency. Had a couple motos outside the top 10. So he is, I think, 90 points back or something, 93 now back or something after the first moto. And snuck in between them is Braden Castellaneta, but just like the first moto, he is behind Lang again. Eaglin looks like he wants to get by Lang so badly. He's trying a lot of different lines, bouncing insides to outsides and across the track. Wherever he can go, he's trying to find some way into it. I'm going to go on board with Eaglin for a minute and just kind of watch how this works ahead of them. Looks like Shirley just went down with the lead because now these guys are only about 4 seconds behind him. So this could turn into a 4-rider battle for the lead before long. Top 4 right now separated by 5 seconds on the track. And they are getting into some lappers for sure. No question about it. Oh, look at that line for Eaglin to the inside. Oh, Lang shuts the door heavy. And Eaglin jumps a little bit too far on that to flat. Man, they are racing each other hard, and they still haven't caught Frank Jackson, who's just right in front of them. To make this a bit more of a battle, and Eaglin goes down. Grabs brake in the wrong spot, and I think he maybe even shifted down based on how the bike sounded. That is a recipe for disaster when you hit braking bumps. So now it's up to Lang to try to go get Frank Jackson, as this man still leads, but it's a much tighter lead than it was before. We still have 16.5 minutes left to go, but Shirley's lead was out to almost 10 seconds even after his fall-off crash. And now it's down to just 3 seconds with Jackson. Jackson just made a mistake. Lang went by. Lang back up into second place. Very interesting. Eaglin get up there and mix it up with those guys. Now he's back to 6th as Lang goes down and gets hit from behind and put on the ground. Braden Castellaneta scoots by and almost takes out Frank Jackson to get into 2nd. And then O'Brien is suddenly in here with Eaglin after they picked it up from a crash, and Partolo is right there as well. So other than Shirley having a tiny lead, or not a tiny lead, a 10-second lead is what I meant to say, everyone else is pretty much nose to tail as Eaglin gets into the back of a lapped rider and goes down. Oh, that was a tough break for Eaglin, caught at the wrong time behind a lapper. And Partolo goes by, Eaglin back to 7th. O'Brien, Lang, Castellaneta, Jackson, nose to tail basically still. 2nd through 6th now, separated by 6 seconds. As we just about get to the halfway point. So Shirley's going to try to settle back down with the lead and not crash back into this group, because if he crashes again, they will be all over him. There's a lapper picking himself up as Jackson jumps into view. Fixie in chat wants to know what the top 5 lap times are. So the best lap time was done by Seth Shirley, 1:41.429. That was on lap 6. Second fastest lap, a 1:41.632, which was on lap 7 by Austin Partolo. A 1:41.671 on lap 7 as well by Colby Eaglin was the third fastest lap. Then we get into the 142s, 142.289 for Frank Jackson on lap 5. 142.125 for Tyler Lang, also on lap 5. And then everyone else behind that is 143s on up. So they're all running some pretty solid lap times. Not the consistency that they would like, but the raw speed is there for sure. Castellaneta looks like he wants a piece of Frank Jackson, and I said it moments ago, but he just hasn't been able to beat T. Lang much this year, which is why Lang has just been inching points away from him. Now he's ahead of him, so now we get to really see what this looks like. Man, Lang absolutely flew through that rut. Last time by for T. Lang, 144 flat, but I think he's starting to get the roll going again here and wants to get all the way back up to 2nd so he can go challenge his teammate for the lead and win. Like I said, it's Shirley's right now. He has got the race lead and overall win in his back pocket as it stands. So we got 13 minutes plus 2 laps to go as Lang goes for a bit of a wild ride in the valley. Things are happening though when you're pushing the limits. Castellaneta is certainly putting some pressure onto Frank Jackson. They worked their way around a lapper. Jackson just went down before the scrub single. Lang goes by, so you see Lang just up ahead of him now. These guys are a ways back. Partolo behind O'Brien. Eaglin has just got to be kicking himself, man. He was in such a good spot. And Lang is quite honestly working his way towards being able to wrap up this championship around early next week. 34 points up, but if he can go get a couple more points in this moto with the Eaglin running in 7th, he just needs to leave next week 50 points up or more and not need to worry about it at the finale. Lang going for a bit of a ride through that corner. Rear end was sliding all the way through. And he's pushing, man. He wants to go get Castellaneta. And again, that opens him up where if he gets Castellaneta, he is the first person that would be on the scene if race leader Seth Surley went down. They just narrowly avoid a downed lapped rider right there. But Surley's got himself an 11-second lead. And one fall-off crash would erase that in an instant. And Lang would love to be the guy that's sitting there when and if it happens, as we have got 10 minutes plus 2 laps left to go in this race. Lang's corner speed is very good. Gets in and out of ruts very well. Doesn't seem to have much problem staying in them either. Hasn't blown over too many ruts with the speed that he's carrying as Castellaneta goes for a bit of a swap through that corner. These two are pushing at the moment. And it looks like Seth Surley may have just gone down as Castellaneta jumps off the track, and then Lang made a mistake and went off the opposite side of the track. So Castellaneta is going to hold position, but Surley has not got the lead he once had. 4.4 seconds now, the gap. Lang trying to jump up alongside Castellaneta to the top of the hill, scrubbing down, getting the power down. Let's see if he uses this outside to make the pass. Swoops the line, and he's got it. Castellaneta bouncing that inside line was just too slow. A little bit of a bike hump right there from T. Lang, maybe showing a sign of respect that was a good fight between those two. Now Lang has got some clear track ahead of him, well, aside from lappers, of course. But to try to go run down Seth Surley, and the lappers are going to certainly come into factor here. That's Austin Bear along with Hunter Ash, I believe, that are battling each other. And they just finally get out of the way and let these guys go. Let Castellaneta go by as well. So now, can Lang get a move on and run his teammate down? 151.2 for Surley. That's a fall-off crash all day, but I don't know. Might have been one of the faster ones. Went from 11 seconds up to 4 seconds up. 7-second fall-off crash is very short. Like, it's rare to have one that quick. But if you have just like a tip over in a corner where your head touches the bale and then you come to a stop immediately, you'll get back up on the bike in like 5 seconds and then get rolling again. So, seen it happen. Not sure if that's what happened to our race leader or not. But now Lang is just going to try to catch him on raw speed alone. And this is where it sucks being the leader, because you're going to be the guy that hits all the lap traffic first. And they've gotten through a good little chunk of it, but there's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys that Shirley's probably going to hit in the next 5 minutes. And any one of them could just be a little bit annoying to get by. Doesn't have to be a lot. Could just be one cut across into a main line because they didn't realize how close you were, or maybe a small bobble gets stuck in a rut. You have to bounce out of the rut to avoid hitting them. all small little things, but they add up. And if Lang is right there, he will take full advantage of it and sneak on by. Shirley's done pretty well, though, to respond to the pressure, though, in match pace, 143.4. Lang lays in a 143.3, back-to-back 143.3s. So he went 1/10 faster than Seth last time by. And a reminder, this is for the overall win on the day. 2-1 versus a 1-2. They tie on points. Really just who beats whom in the second moto for the overall. At this stage of it, I think I'd rather be in T-Lang's position. Fixie asked if I'd rather be in P1 getting hunted or be the hunter. And I think I'd rather be in T-Lang's position doing the hunting. Because it sucks being in the lead in this game. I'll tell you. You're so nervous. You start making so many mistakes. You think about everything other than just doing your laps. And then on top of that, you're the guy that hits all the lap traffic first. And they will move when they know you're there. But they don't know you're there for a long time. Oh, surely a mistake, and there goes Lang into the lead. All right, now we got another chase set to happen here. 5 minutes and 2 laps left to go, and Seth has got to go run his teammate down. I don't think championship-wise much implications here with what's going on. Eaglin's all the way back to 9th. This is going to be a huge haul for Lang, regardless of if he wins or finishes second. So I can't imagine Shirley's just going to let him win this thing for championship points. I think he wants to go beat him straight up here. And we got 1.4 seconds in it. This is going to be a fun fight between the teammates. They're putting on a show for us here in RFGP competition. And don't forget, Braden Castellaneta is still sitting 6 seconds behind them. Oh, Lang's now down and off the bike, and Shirley almost gets into him. So Seth takes back over the lead, and here is Castellaneta going into second right there on the number 8. So Lang slips back to third and almost went for another ride coming down that. That was a bit tight as Castellaneta scoots by into second, as mentioned. I mean, he's hanging out. He is only 4 seconds behind Seth Shirley, and now splitting, obviously, the two JIBR.co gas. So 4 minutes and 2 laps to go as Castellaneta swings it out over that jump right there. Lap traffic, trying to not play a factor and stay out of the way. Easier said than done. All right, so now, again, getting back to asking me where I'd rather be. I think I'd still rather be in Lang's position here. 3rd place, because if you're Castellaneta, you want to focus on trying to catch Shirley, as Shirley is down off the side of the track. Seth Shirley has thrown away the race lead again. Interesting. And Castellaneta takes back over the lead. By the way, for everyone in chat, that's not the real Payson Johnson talking, so no need to ask him questions about why he's racing or not. So Braden Castellaneta leads here in Germany. He must have heard me say that he just has not been beating Tyler Lang enough. Because he just lit a fire under himself and came alive in this second moto. 5th place in Moto 1. Doesn't stand to win the overall right now. Certainly stands to get on the box. But I think he just wants to beat these guys. Wants to beat T. Lang. And say, look, you might have won this world title, but there are other guys on the track that can beat you, sir. Whoa, little slide through that corner. That That corner is deceiving as I say that. Lang goes for a ride. Sliding in there. Shirley's trying to inch that gap back down. Only about 5 seconds behind T-Lang. Obviously, T-Lang is all eyes focused forward on Castellaneta. Lap traffic now. Look at how many lappers are going by. Guys sitting still in the mechanics area, just trying to let them go. Castellaneta bouncing to that inside rut. There should be 3 laps to go. They should see 2-lap board come out next time by. After time expires. Oh, Lang wants to go get the lead badly. He wants to sweep these motos, man. Leave here with as many points as possible to try to clinch this thing around early. Early starting to lose touch with these guys a little bit. It seems like it's going to come down to Castellaneta versus T-Lang for this win. As we're going to see the 2-lap board come out next time by. Lang is going to win the overall Grand Prix as it runs with a 1-2 score. Shirley on 2-3. Castellaneta on 5-1. Frank Jackson on 4-4. And Colby Eagland, unfortunately, having a tough moto this time. He's all the way back to 13th now. So Lang might even leave here with a 50-point lead. It won't be enough, obviously, to win the world title. He needs to be 100 points up after today, which is what Seth Carr was. Woo! Lang landing all the way out to flat right there. Bouncing down the hill. He is pushing. You think he doesn't want to win this thing? He does, as Castellaneta ran his personal best lap of the race last time by 142.4. Speaking of pushing, he wants it bad too. He's made a couple mistakes. Bloodthirsty shark in the water right behind him right now, trying to get this pass done to go into the lead and sweep the RFGP of Germany. White flag is going to come out this time by, and this is going to be a dash for the cash to win this second moto. This is the version of Castellaneta we've been wanting to see all season long, as he is putting the heat to Tyler Lang right now. Oh, what a race this is going to be. Lang's trying to figure out, where can I pass him? Where's an option open up? Which line should I take? How should I do it? So many different things to think about in this. Oh my gosh, the speed Castellaneta carried in. He goes a little bit long off the wall. That actually gave him a bit of a gap, though, as the white flag waves, and he's got some buffer. He is pushing like there's no tomorrow. And honestly, kudos to him, because he's not going to win the Grand Prix. He just desperately wants to win this moto. Lang, a mistake off the track on the wall jump in the background. Castellaneta stays inside, trying to hold on to it. They're about to lap Caleb Hall, who is 13th on the racetrack right now. They are flying around this Tal Kessel circuit. Does Hall get out of the way and play nice here? Let's see. See if he just swings wide and lets him go. No, he's trying to race. This is not what we want to see. There we go. He lets him go. Lang gets into that rut behind and is going to follow through. Oh, Lang got that so good. And here we go again up the hill. Lang is very good through those switchbacks, and then Castellaneta seems to be pretty good through these couple sections right here. He's missing that big bump. Oh, Lang swoops way outside. That's a lot of time lost, and that might be just enough, although Castellaneta just made a big error himself. This is going to come all the way down to the flag. Oh, Lang's down. Lang is down out of P2. And he is not going to lose the spot to Shirley. He is still going to win this Grand Prix. But Braden Castellaneta survives the storm. What a performance that was. Not to falter at the pressure that Lang was putting on from behind. And with one turn to go, it's not going to be for the overall, but bragging rights back in his favor. Going to let Caleb Hall have it back. Braden Castellaneta wins MXGP Race 2 here in Germany. And the RFGP of Germany victory goes to Tyler Lang as he goes 1-2 on the day and takes a huge step towards clinching this world title. Seth Shirley goes 2-3 and end up second overall probably as Frank Jackson goes 4-4. Blake O'Brien, strong performance for him on the day. He'll end up fifth in this second moto. Bilar's sixth, Partolo seventh, Davis eighth, Eaglin got all the way back to ninth, but with Lang finishing second and scoring 22 points, Eagland only picking up 12 points right now. That's a 10-point swing. It's out to 44-point advantage for Lang. And if Lang goes 1-1 next week, he will clinch the world title one round early. And so Eagland needed a big one tonight and instead got a dud. Just not the performance he needed whatsoever. Kyle Boardman looks like he's going to round out the top 10. Teddy Lehman, 11th right behind him. Jeremy Schiabro in 12th. And Caleb Hall pushing all the way to the flag in 13th. Killian Ortiz launched the finish and immediately disconnected in 14th. Jay-Z was 15th, 16th for Luke Sullivan. 17th for Dre Smith. Aaron Rockefeller ended up in 18th. Hunter Butters Ash was P19. And 20th for Bryce Foley, backed by BPC there. I apologize, Holtzy. Wasn't sure if you had one yet this year. 2 moto wins this year. Totally missed that. I don't know why. But congrats regardless. As Castellaneta picks up the race win, T-Lang picks up the overall. Oh yeah, Majora, that's right. I remember that now. Penalties have come in. T-Lang confirmed as our overall winner, and he is getting sat on by all of his buddies who are so excited for him. They're just trying to crash his game and have a dandioso old time. All right, that is going to do it for the RFGP of Germany here tonight at the Talkessel Circuit in Teutschenthal. Really appreciate everyone who stopped by, and many, many congratulations, of course, to Seth Carr, our new MX2 world champion. We'll get to see if he shows up wearing the number 1 plate next week or maybe the gold plate. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think he should run something special for these last 2 GPs, mix it up a little bit, and yeah, have some fun with it. Why not? You already wrapped up the world title and won the Grand Prix tonight as well. So big shout out to Seth Carr and Tyler Lang, Grand Prix winners here tonight. Evan Holt winning a moto, Braden Castellaneta winning a moto. And yeah, we'll be back in 2 days on Wednesday evening to wrap up the 2024 RaceFactory Gaming National Championship. You will not want to miss it. Both championships still alive, though it is a long shot on both ends for T-Lang to try to catch Payson Johnson and for Cade Matherly to try to catch Seth Carr. But they're both still alive, and we're going to bring you guys all the way to the checkered flag with them. No question about it. So hopefully you enjoyed our coverage for round 8 of 10 of the 2024 RFGP Championship here on Start Your Systems TV. A big thank you to RaceFactoryGaming.com and the RaceFactory Gaming track crew for all the work that they do, as well as the Design Lab Co. for backing us on the broadcast with the Whole Shot Award all season long. And of course, to every one of you watching at home and subscribing to us either on Twitch or on YouTube, we appreciate your support and hope you continue following us along the way as we bring you coverage all season long in MX Simulator and soon to be MX Bikes. That's going to do it for us here tonight. We hope to see you guys on Wednesday for round 10 or 11, I should say, of Nationals from Ironman. Until then, we'll see you guys in the next one. So long for now.